We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vacinda. I know you should all just look at Jeremy right now. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I am excited about it. I am the Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their game and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. I may have said the same thing twice there. I actually, for the first time ever, couldn't say that on stream this morning when I was going live and giving the preview of the back end. So it is possible for me to mess that up in ways that I think a lot of people thought wasn't possible. We do that in a lot of different ways. Sometimes we do reviews of people's games. We make our own games, but we love to sit down with a designer of a game and play them. This game, Markus is the designer of it, and we played it a lot on stream. It's actually funding right now. It's our house OSR systems being published by Plus One. But Markus, tell us a little bit before we get started about Down We Go.
All right, this is my interpretation of the OSR experience. I've tried to look at as many different like retro clones and OSR games as possible, and I've tried to boil it down to 4 classes or roles that I call them, and they all have 6 abilities. Like, what does this role bring to the table in forms of adventuring? And it's a pretty simple system. It's a D20 system, and you add your role. Say you want to do something that is mystical in nature. You add your mystical level to the D20, and yeah, it's a pretty flexible system. It's an easy to hack system, I would say. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. And if people wanted to find out more about this, do you know where they could find out more about it right now?
I'm sorry?
If people wanted to find out more about it, do you know where they could find out more about it right now?
They can go to ttrpg.link/DWGLive, where we are funding right now.
Awesome. And that is right below. Markus, if you point down and I think to your left. No, right. I was wrong. There's that link. Also, we are playing Down We Go using a very, very cool module. Down We Go has kind of a core setting now in the new way that we're doing it for the campaign, but it blends really well with other, especially minimalist OSR stuff. So we're actually going to be playing in the Undying sand setting. I've got a second camera set up right down here so we can see that. It's a very cool setting. I think they're going to blend together really well, but I'll be honest, because both of these things depend a lot on random things and just figuring out what's happening as you're going. I didn't prep anything. So we're gonna set out into the Undying Sands from Infinopolis. But before we do that, let's meet the other folks that we are playing with. Also, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, the link for this is right down in the description if you want to find out more about the game itself, or if you're watching on Twitch, I'll drop the link in just 1 second because I don't know that I set that up, but I will. With that said, let's meet our other players before we dive in. Let's go first to Jeremy Gage. Jeremy, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Gage. You can find me at JeremyGage5 over on Twitter. You can listen to the Draw Your Dice podcast, which I host on a pretty bi-weekly basis, where we interview tabletop game designers about their principles, philosophies, and processes so that you, too, can make game design a career for you.
Sweet. Right above Jeremy, as the viewer sees it, we've got Richard. Richard, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online.
Hey, I'm Richard. I'm the designer of Barrow Keep and Enoch's Wake, and the upcoming, soon-to-be formally announced Moonland and Roseville Beach complete game, which is coming to a crowdfunding platform of some sort of other somewhat soon. And they can find me at ARR_ROO on Twitter.
Awesome. Always happy to have you here. Also, probably the person who on stream now has played more Down We Go than anybody else, because you were a part of our 5-week public playtest series. You can go watch all the videos from that where you played Borba the Thief. But today you're not playing Borba the Thief. Our next player is playing Borba the Thief. Max, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online. You're muted.
It's an unintentional part of the game now. There just always has to be a Borba the Thief. There must be one. I am Max. You can find me online at Maxwell Lander, most places. I make weird little games. Most recently, I released a photo journaling cryptid hunting game, which is a bunch of fun. And so find me online and play that.
Awesome. So I'm super excited to dive in. We'll meet the players as we get into it. We always use a couple safety tools here on the channel. By the way, Major Tamara, who was going to be joining us, I hope you're feeling better. If you could type an !DWG into the chat so it'll drop the link so that I don't have to flop over to do that, that would be awesome. And that'll let everybody drop the link over on Twitch also. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Other people are doing it. Sorry, Major Tomorrow. People who are on stream beat you to it. So we are going to be diving into Down We Go. We're going to meet your characters in just 1 second. But first, we're going to find out a little bit about the faction that hired you to go out into the sands. Jeremy, I asked you to roll randomly earlier one of the factions in the city. I believe you rolled a 2, which is the Dirt Lickers, I believe.
That is correct.
Tell us about the Dirt Licker faction and who they are, what they do, and let's figure out why they might be sending y'all out into the sands.
As I read the scriptures set before me for the faction, charged by holy writ and protected by city laws, these dry-tongued pilgrims can be seen licking and eating the various flavors of dirt, sand, clay, and soil all across the city. They pay extra for exotic flavors of particulate exported from dungeons. Late at night, in hidden basements, the Dirt Lickers convene to regurgitate the soil they ate, molding them on massive and slow-spinning potter's wheels into spit-bound earth elementals that serve their obscure occult purposes. Duties and activities. Superstitiously sampling strange soil, haggling with gardeners about compost, practicing elemental controlling glyphs by tracing them in the air, might ask adventurers to search out new dirts, take down a rogue elemental, find an ancient tasting guide. Symbol is a dirt-flecked tongue.
Wow. Amazing.
All right. So we are going to be using, like I said, the Down We Go. So you find yourself in the middle of a vast expanse of sand. You started out in the city, and we'll find out how you got here in just a little bit. You're the large dromedaries that have been pulling the wagon behind you are starting to get more and more upset and seem like they might bolt any moment. Let's hear about the 4 figures that we see trying to calm down these large creatures. Let's start with Richard. Richard, tell us a little bit about your character and tell me how they're trying to calm down these large dromedaries that seem like they might bolt at any moment.
So Finlow, who is actually a badger, is not taking any responsibility for the fact that these camelids are freaking out, because why would anybody freak out because of the presence of a badger? So Finlow is grappling one of their noses and giving it the stare down, like you might do with a misbehaving puppy.
Awesome. Is Finlow a badger person, a full-sized human-ish badger, or just a normal-sized badger?
A fairly normal gnome-sized badger.
Gnome-sized badger. That's the size we're going with. Cool.
Right.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfectly normal. That's awesome. How does Finlow? What do we see? Are they carrying anything, or are they just badger en natural?
Finlow has a hat, a backpack, and the even though it's a backpack for dramatic reasons, all the equipment's on the outside of it.
Right. So you get a very clear sense of all the things clinging against each other. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Jeremy. Jeremy, tell people who your character is and what we see them doing to try to calm down or deal with the situation in front of you.
I will be playing the Unholy Vicar. You can call me Vicar. And what you see is a shadow inside of a heavy robe. No features can be distinguished. No appendages are protruding from the robe. You just see what you might think to be a floating robe, though there is something underneath it. And to be honest,
I'm probably the one who caused them to be startled in the first place.
Oh man, that's a great. What did you do to cause them to be startled in the first place?
I spoke.
Oh,
Awesome. What color are your robes, just out of curiosity?
Just like a drab brown, simple robe.
Infinitopolis is a kind of dark, overcast place. How do you feel about all the sunshine all around you?
If I could create a sun of darkness, I would.
Like, this is great if it was the exact opposite. That's your
Correct.
general vibe.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Love it. Let's
The night is my mistress.
let's go over to Max. Max, tell people what we see when we come upon your characters. We smash cut over to them. Who are they, and what do we see them doing to deal with the situation in front of them?
My character is the great thief Borba, who is an abnormally large goblin. So 4 feet and 80 pounds. Also very robed, but not a single robe, many, many layers of robes, which could now be very full of regret. And I think probably Borba has is not helping, is uninterested and a little bit unconcerned, just as well, if they're gonna freak, let them go. Chaos reigns. We'll figure it out. Also, what does one do with why I don't?
What are you doing to kind of occupy yourself? Are you just standing around agog, or are you doing something that makes it look like you're being active without actually being active?
No, I think probably is just sitting there and watching how it's playing out. Has made a little kind of in the way that you depress into those fat boy beanbag chairs. Just has made a nice little sand pile, comfortably enshrouded in many layers of cloak, just sitting, watching, supervising, but not not in any kind of attached way.
Yeah, a little bit of direction. Excellent. Markus, tell us about your character, what we see, and who they are, and how we see them dealing with this situation.
all right. So nobody is basically helping out right now. So I guess it comes to Thorn with an E at the end, the Cacti Sapiens magician kind of character. I kind of look like I would try to portray a cactus in a school play. I have a cactus suit. My arms are constantly like this, and just a human face in the middle and human hands poking out. But besides the face and the hands, I'm a cactus. And I have a flute that seems to mold the sand and the earth around us. So I'm sitting on top of one of these camels. What were they? Playing my flute, trying to smooth out the way in front of us. And I'm also wearing a bright red fez.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. That's excellent. We're going to, at this point, cut back to a couple days before. We see this kind of space of emotion, excitement. These camels freaking out because Vickers spoke to them. We see Thorn trying to deal with it, and two other individuals, just getting through the day, being the best help that they can or not. But you came to the Undying Sands for a reason. So we're going to flash back to Infinitopolis. No longer is there the bright sun glittering off the sand. There's no longer the dry kind of scent of ozone and dirt in the air. That's all disappeared as we find ourselves in the dank, dark comfort of Infinitopolis, standing in the foyer to the Dirt Liquors headquarters. It's been carved out of an earthen area on the edge of the pleasure domes. It looked like somebody basically found a nice kind of park and then just went to work building tunnels down into it. And you've wound down deep into the earth with kind of that loamy aroma coming in and touching you. There's not a lot of noise here. It's very, very still. And you've been summoned before the highest council of the Dirt Lickers. Have any of you worked with the Dirt Lickers before?
I might have. I might be interested in like finding especially fertile soil for me to grow, maybe.
Okay.
So I may have crossed paths with them.
So you've come consulting their wisdom. Vicar, how have you worked with the Dirt Lickers before?
I like the dark.
So do you just hang out down here with them?
Every day.
Every day. Oh, excellent. Have you been trying to become a Dirt Licker? Has this been part of your this is where you want to be?
No, I want to bring them over to the darkness.
Ah, excellent. So y'all have been summoned before the Dirt Lickers. And they, as they gather you into this tomb, it's very dark in here. There's a few natural kind of phosphorescent mushrooms that are providing a little bit of illumination to the space, but you can't see very clearly exactly who it is you're talking to. You get the sense of shuffling inhuman bodies in the distance behind them, and kind of the clank of stone and hardened earth against each other. And you get the sense that there's a large group of earth elementals back in the distance about some kind of business that you can't quite tell. But the Dirt Lickers speak to you, and they tell you that they want you to go to the Undying Sands, that they've heard of three intriguing types of sand: a red sand, a green sand, and a burnt umber sand, that they would like you to retrieve a sample of each for them so that they might experience it more intentionally and see how it adds to their power. You are presented with this option, and they're very happy to reward you greatly for your trouble, both to provide the resources you need to get to the Undying Sands, and then upon completion, great treasure and power await you. They offer you each 150 coin to help provide to help gather anything you need from the city before you depart, as well as promising you dromedaries on a westbound wind ship that takes you out to the edge of the Undying Sands. What do you do?
Of course, it would be my honor to serve the Dirt Lickers. I will fulfill this quest to the best of my competence.
Come closer, young Thorn. Let me see something. And they bend down and they stick a dirt-stained brown finger into the soil around the base of your feet, and then they lick it. Have you been taking care of yourself?
I try to. Oh, Dirt Licker. Dirtiest of the lickers.
Remember to hydrate properly in the desert. You should be able to hold the water well, but you still will need water. So how does everybody else respond? Positively?
I am positively, yes. I would love to participate in this and build a relationship with those who bury themselves in the dark.
Finlow.
Definitely let out a badger yell of hooray.
What does a badger yell sound like?
Yeah.
Excellent. You're each given the 150 coins and ushered back out. Waiting outside, you find a messenger who says they give you half of a ticket, and they say, "I'll meet you over at the docks." The docks are a few districts away in the city. Is there anywhere that you want to go specifically before you leave the city?
No, not that I can think of.
I can't imagine preparing because I, the great thief Borba, have just been asked to steal sand from a desert and am a little affronted. And so we'll be walking, but like we'll be mumbling under my breath the entire walk directly to the docks. Like I want the job, but also.
Excellent.
So you're thinking this is kind of beneath you?
I mean, just how could you fail? I guess
Yeah.
it's an easy mark, but
Excellent. To get over to the docks, you have to pass through the bazaar either way. Will somebody roll a d4 for me?
I got it. That's a 3.
A 3?
Yep.
Because I'm zoomed in on my document. Hold on. Here we go. As you enter into the bazaar, you notice that everything is slightly sharper here than the last time you were here. The vendors are more closed off. They seem to stare at you menacingly. There are extra security devices on a lot of the things. There are also just spiked like spikes going across the top of a number of stalls. It looks entirely more wicked than the last time you remember coming up on the bazaar. You could skirt around it, but it is the quickest way to get there. Everybody roll a d6 for me and tell me what you get.
6.
5.
6.
2.
You're making your way through the bazaar. You're kind of muttering to yourself consistently. Borba, distracted in your own thoughts, upset by all this, that you barely notice the small street urchin reach up and grab your coin purse, not your good coin purse, the one you keep there for people who don't know better, but it does have 10 coin in it. Do you want to let this person them get away, or do you want to try to pursue them?
Was it a good job? Did they do it good? Like, were they good and sneaky about it?
It would have worked against anybody who wasn't a thief. So it was a clean grab. But
Great.
they should have known that was your fake coin purse.
Yes, but I think still, I will just make direct eye contact slightly menacingly and then wink and keep going. Gotta encourage the youth.
And no one needed anything at the bazaar, correct?
No, I think I'm all set. Yeah.
As you make your way out of the bazaar, everybody roll a d6 for me again, and then somebody roll a d4 for me also. Jeremy, why don't you give me a d4 as well?
I got a 1.
I got a 5, and my D4 is a 4.
I got another 6.
And I got a 2 on my D6.
Excellent. The table procedures for Infinopus are really easy. You just draw out a simple set of circles, have people navigate between them as you go. Every time you go into a different district, you roll for an adjective that helps describe that district and give it a little bit of flavor. So the bazaar was wicked. The docks, however, we got a 4. You come up and you just hear like brawling in front of you. You see a mass of sailors dressed in different uniforms, ragtag, and they seem to be fighting each other. And there's just this massive brawl that has come across the space in front of you. Everything seems to be in disarray. Crates are knocked over. You see on the far side of this, the messenger who had issued you, and they're kind of waving you through the den. But there's this huge group of bodies that they seem to be just laying into anybody who is not dressed the same way that they are, of which none of you happen to be. What do you do?
Like, are there 2 parties fighting each other or multiple parties?
As far as you can tell, there's at least 4 that you can identify, and then there's a just mix of rabble who are dressed in a ton of different ways and don't seem to be affiliated with anyone.
All right. I would like to raise a wall of cactuses, like when Moses split the. Maybe I can let the GM have me do 2 walls if I use 2 slots of it.
Yeah,
to make a passageway
put a wall
straight
here
through.
as everybody backs up from the cactuses that popped up. Put a wall.
I want to create
here.
2 walls so we can walk
Yeah.
in the middle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're able to get those walls up, and it does create a little bit of a divide. There's a few people between you and the boat who got caught in the middle, couldn't get out of the way quick enough as these cactuses just kind of burst up out of the ground. You can see 4 people ahead of you, 2 of whom are fighting, 2 of whom just seem to be looking around. One of whom gets their back slammed into a cactus, of the 2 who are fighting as you're walking up and past them. Also, Max, did you say you rolled a 1 again?
I did.
So all of a sudden you reach down, and you can decide how you feel about it, but your second distraction purse, the one that you actually keep inside, is 50 coin lighter. And you all of a sudden flash back to when you were menacingly look at them, and as they slipped back behind you, you think that youngster may have made off with another 50 of your coins.
Oh, see, that's so good though. I'm so proud. Are they visible? Can I see them anywhere?
As you look at the distance on one of the buildings, you do see somebody up there who has the same kind of shock of very light blonde hair up on the building that looks like it might be the same young individual. I'm
going to pull from one of my many internal pockets. Whatever the equivalent version of a business card is, and leave it very intentionally leave it somewhere on top of a box or some kind of I don't know, doc stuff, and just do a little
You put it up at scamp level, right? Scamps can run easily across the boxes, and so you put it up high and give them a excellent. What is on your calling card that lets people know it's you?
I think it's is it a little actual calling card? Maybe it's a little charm that's in the card itself, but yeah.
Excellent. So you make your way down this. How are you navigating these 4 individuals, the 2 brawlers and then the 2 others who are caught in between?
Who is the bloodthirsty character? I'm just kind of waiting back, expecting them to go first.
I'm sort of I'll just kind of walk up to the ones who are still brawling and let out a low sort of Rah! Claws up.
So menacing.
I'm going to intimidate them.
Okay.
And I think I have 2 levels, and that's 2 creatures.
I'll let you use this for one use of intimidate. That's fine. I think you're trying to intimidate them. These 2 individuals at the same time. It's one act. You can just use one of them. So you let out your badger. And we see
it was way tougher though than. Yeah, it's Rah!
There we go. You see them
way tougher.
They kind of both look down and they kind of back up and they both back into the cactuses and they kind of bounce their way against each other, shoving to kind of get out. The 2 in front of you look like they're both wearing yellow vests. They look like they're from the same crew, and they're kind of coming at you menacingly. It looks like one of them has a dagger that he's pulled out, and they're making their way towards you.
I'm just gonna sharpen my claws and at this point I don't know what else to do except just let's just start some action.
All right, do you want to roll initiative?
Yeah, but I always win initiative.
You're gonna go ahead and use a slot to win?
I'm gonna use a slot of alertness.
All right, so you use a slot of alertness, which lets you automatically win initiatives. So they think they're about to get the drop on you, but you've timed it out perfectly. Tell me what Finlow does.
Finlow does a real quick claw sharpen move, which is the scariest thing badgers do. The yells, roars, those are all nothing compared to seeing a badger sharpen its claws. And then dives for and then just dives for one of their ankles.
Cool. Go ahead and make a bloodthirsty roll. So you're gonna roll your D20 plus bloodthirsty to hit.
All right. That is an 11.
They are totally caught off guard by this as you kind of barrel into the foot of this individual, and you kind of just slash across his ankle, and this gout of blood shoots out. He just starts screaming and kind of falls off to the side and rolls into this one of these cactuses and just starts kind of rolling back and forth, holding their ankle. Is anybody else going to do anything to the other individual who is approaching?
I'll arch my back and just rah like that. And use a pain bolt, but I'm thinking I'm gonna throw out like thorns because I'm a cactus.
Love it.
So I'm gonna cover him in thorns, and that's gonna do 3 hits of damage.
You know, he's a little bit near the edge of the water, and you watch these kind of thorns erupt out of your body, just eviscerating into this individual, and you watch them kind of trip back over the edge. They let out a Wilhelm scream as they kind of plunge into the dark, inky waters of the docks around Infinitopolis. And you all have a clear path over to the messenger who was meeting you over here with the other half of the ticket.
Awesome.
It looks like
I'll walk over.
It looks like a lot of the excitement has died down. There's not quite as much of a ruckus going on. It seems that these walls of cactus, as well as the very quick work that you made of a few of these individuals, word has gotten out to kind of make themselves scarce. As you come up, you do see that the crew that you're getting on the ship of has not been partaking in this. They've been unloading their cargo. Max, what exotic cargo are they unloading?
I think it's fabric. I think it's like very cool, kind of like potentially luminescent, but like and like color shifting fabric.
Love it. And then let's see. One of you knows the captain of this ship. If no one wants to claim it, we'll roll a d4. But does anybody have an idea about how they would know the captain of this ship?
I think this is my first time on a boat, to be honest. So it's not me.
Vicar, go ahead.
I think that at one point we've had sermon together in the church that I'm from.
What was the context of the sermon?
How the world needs a little less light.
So y'all are members of the same congregation. Is he an Orthodox member of the church that hates light?
Recently, yes.
Recently, excellent. So what's his name?
Michael.
So Captain Michael of the Dark welcomes you each onto the boat. Assures you that below decks there is no sunlight. It's kept nice and dark. Don't worry about any sort of troublesome light or having to look at the world around you. It's a perfect bastion of darkness below decks now, especially that they've got all this color shifting luminescent fabric out of the way, and that they will be taking you to the edge of the Undying Sands and dropping you off and waiting for your returns. You make your way on the ship across this and it's not there. You are on the water, but you actually hit land very shortly after. You kind of go down a river for a little ways, and then go out across a plain over the course of the next day and a half. So go ahead and take back any slots that you spent up because they renew every single day. You find yourselves to the edge of the sands. Things are getting sandier and sandier, and there's this small oasis on the edge of what becomes the true desert, where they stop and they wait and let you know that they can wait for a week with the contract that they've been giving, but if you're not back in 7 days, then they'll have to leave without you, and you'll have to make your own way back to Infinitopolis, whether or not you have the sand in hand. They unload the dromedaries in a set of supplies. There's rations for the 7 days. There's water for the 7 days, and let you out into the dunes. As you make your way across, you're about another day out. You're 1 day in, so you've got 6 days left. When all of a sudden, Vicar decides to talk to the camels. They kick up, and we find ourselves where we were at the beginning of our time together in the Undying Sands. And I'm going to flip our overlay here to our Undying Sands version, which has color in it, whereas the Infinitopolis version is not. And the place you find yourself in after you're traveling after you get them calmed down, I think the flute works. Things kind of do it. The way that the Undying Sands works is that I place the hexes in a cloth bag. I've just got them pulled out in a stack. Remove a single hex at random and place it on the table. This is where the characters will begin their adventure. If the hex is unnumbered, read if the hex is numbered, read the corresponding description from the central panel. Improvise as you see fit. Each numbered hex displays 3 sites for exploration. If the hex is unnumbered, you can use a random encounter table that's in here. And then I'll ask you guys which direction you want to travel in as you look for these sands. But you find yourself in the middle of an area near a grand caldera, sealed with meteoric rock, surrounded at its base by dark tephra and oases, swarming with buzzing mosquitoes. An ancient horror may be imprisoned in the volcano down below, you've heard. Richard, what rumor has Finlow heard about this ancient horror that's supposed to be imprisoned in this volcano?
It's well, it has both tentacles, but at the end of every tentacle are a set of really, really, really sharp claws, and it's maddeningly hungry, just like all the time.
And you've heard that it's so hungry that it wants to eat and consume the entire world. There's also a giant snake-headed creature of kind of a burnt umber hue in the middle of this area also too, as well. But it's surrounded by a lake that's made out of a black, thick liquid that seems to stick like tar. It's perfectly still, like a mirror of opal glass. You find yourself kind of near all 3 of these things. What do you do?
What was that you said about burnt umber?
The statue itself looks to be somewhat of a burnt umber color, but it's surrounded by this giant tar lake. What do you do? Good.
Like how big is the lake?
Oh, it's a good 80 feet at its nearest point to where the statue is, and it's about another 120 to 200 feet. It's a very amorphous structure, but at the close points, about 80 feet from the statue. At the far points, about 120 feet. Not huge. Some people might call it a pond, but it really borders on the lakeside, being about 160 to 200 feet across if the giant snake statue was not in the middle of it.
I'd like the cloak to slowly lean into the tar, and I'll cleanse this tar effect here. Just slip underneath the liquid.
Interesting. So you want to lean into the tar, and you want to cast cleanse. I think if the concept is you want the tar to not stick to you, I think that is very, very possible. Is that what you're going for?
Yes.
So you sight on the tar, and it is black like night. It is warm, which is, kind of reminds you of sunlight, but as you get underneath it, you can feel that there is no sunlight touching you. It's thick and opaque. As everybody else watches Vicar enter into this, it is almost like he phases into it. There is no ripple. There is no movement. It does not stick to him. There is not a trail or a trace. It just kind of, as if he moves, and you can see a little bit of like the suction of the tar around him. Yeah, that's what we see. Where are you headed, Vicar?
I'm just going to sit here. No, I'm taking note of the burnt amber statue, and I would like to see if there is any burnt amber sands resting at the bottom of this tar pool.
Are you reaching down to do that? What are you? How are you checking that?
swimming down to the bottom, floating to the bottom.
Excellent. So you kind of walk / swim / stay down low, and you all watch as Vicar disappears underneath the tar. Make a bloodthirsty roll for me, Jeremy, to see. We'll see how long you can hold your breath as you do this.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. We're going to pause just 1 second. My wife just asked for her phone, which I do think I have down here somewhere. Oh. You're seeing all the secrets. I will be right back. Let me walk that over.
This episode is being sponsored by my wireless internet and AT&T. I apologize.
You had a dirty 20. Yeah, so you're very comfortable down here. You feel like you could name in here. You kind of have to like get down low and almost kind of swim to the bottom to get any sense of what's on the ground here, but you're able to kind of grab a handful of the sand here. And as you kind of make your way back up to the surface with it and break out, again, you'll just see a hand kind of slice into the air, no ripple, no anything else. The sand looks like it is too light to be true burnt umber. Like it looks like it's mixed with the normal sand around you, but it is definitely darker than those sands. So you're going to have to get closer to that statue if you think if you want to find some of the sand that you were talking about.
Oh, I was going to as bottom could be. I have no fear of this statue.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna go back down again. Do you say anything?
No.
What is everybody else doing while Vicar is tar diving?
Yeah, this is just perfectly normal. I'm just waiting.
I feel like there's probably an internal, like, just why do they always do this? Like, why are they like this? What is...
Is it an internal dialogue, or is it like in the marketplace where you were talking to yourself but no one is actually just answering?
Yeah, I think probably Borba thinks it's internal and just it never is. Just like a lot of it gets muttered.
Excellent. So you make your way into the deeper part of this tar as you hear gentle muttering behind you from Borba, and you are able to reach down, and you're feeling around the base of the statue, and you're kind of feeling this sand, and then all of a sudden you feel something slip and slither around your arm. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
That will be a 5.
So you have a chance to act before on this knowledge before anything else happens. What do you do?
I would like to turn invisible.
Okay. So you turn invisible.
I'll spend a slot of mystical.
That's fine. You turn invisible. You can see kind of this. You can kind of sense this empty black on black void that you are now within this space. And you sense the slithering kind of move a little bit distant. You're grabbing this sand and pulling it up, and then all of a sudden you feel something as you're grabbing that sand wrap around the tip of your hand. It's inside your hand as well as outside of it. So you picked up sand, but there's something thick like a rope in your hand as well.
I will pull on it.
Okay. Go ahead and make another D20 plus bloodthirsty roll for me.
4.
As you pull on it, you're getting ready to kind of heave up, and you do one of those like you breathe in a little bit first. But the problem is you're completely surrounded by tar, so you get a little bit of tar in your mouth, and you realize like you are almost out of oxygen. as you kind of try to pull on this, and you feel it give a little bit, and then it like yanks itself back down towards the ground where it was.
Joke's on you. I like it. I will pull again.
Okay, so you can stay down here. If you don't make it back to the surface by the end of this turn, you're going to start taking damage from being unable to breathe. Okay, cool.
I'm wicked okay with that.
So you grab it again. You yank on it really hard. It comes up again. Make that D20 roll for me one more time.
That's going to be a 14.
And you feel it yank up, and you get your hand around it. It seems to, you can't tell if it's squirming or if it's tugging or what exactly it is, but it is resisting you in some way, shape, or form. Are you trying to take it up to the surface, or what are you doing?
I am trying to take it up to the surface.
So you're able to like fight your way up to the surface. You break the top. You kind of, whatever Vicar, a gasp of air sounds like, you do. I don't know if you want to Foley that. You break and you pull it up, and there's this long green kind of leathery looking cable that looks like it's tapering in your hand, but it's still kind of giving you the pull back down too.
I found this.
Are you back
What
like at
does
the
it
shore
mean?
where we are, or are you out in the middle of the? Did you just
No,
like say that to the sky?
A gentle whisper near.
over 80 feet where it's near you here. I
found this.
What does this look like again?
As far as you know, it looks like he's holding a rope.
And how far out is Vicar?
Probably about 70 feet, like pretty near the statue.
What did you find? What did you find, buddy? Just like screaming over.
It's green.
I like wave my paws and then pantomime looping the rope around the statue and then coming back.
Don't get it.
You
Roll for it. But I will loop anyways.
It's not a small statue. That's kind of like a swim. Like this is a large like base. It goes up very high in the air, like 30 feet up, and it's about 8 feet at the base. So you've got to do a little bit of a swim maneuver. As Vicar is swimming around, y'all notice that there are other kind of rope-looking things that have tapered to points, kind of breaking out of the surface near the snake.
Is there any ground around the statue, or is it coming up out of the surface?
There's a little bit of a base to it. Like one could climb up on the feet of, or what would be the foot of the statue, and kind of take a look if you wanted to. I mean, like sit there and like look out.
And remind me about what the snake looks like.
Do what?
Remind me what the snake looks like. What is the snake?
It looks kind of like that.
Oh.
Again,
I'm doing the thing again where I'm leaning towards the camera to try to see.
you want a slightly closer?
No,
look?
yeah, that's a cool. Okay, all right.
Like, do we want to get out to this statue, or
What if you just broke a piece of the statue off as opposed to
that's what I'm
these
thinking.
These kind of
Do we need the whole
snake-like
statue?
tendrils are now moving closer and closer to Vicar.
Whoa,
Again, the
okay.
entire thing is just
Don't
completely
dive in.
still. It's completely silent, other than whatever breathing noises and motion noises y'all are making.
I'll use wall again, and like every use, I have 3 uses of wall, and every use gives me a wall of 30 feet. Like, how many uses would I need to use to get out to the statue? Is 90 feet enough?
90 feet would get you out to the statue. Yes.
All right, cool. I create a bridge cross this surface.
Are
A thorny cactus bridge, which
let's say out of
probably only
cactus,
I
right?
could traverse.
Yes.
So I just create it and start running out to the statue really fast.
So you you make a thorn bridge that you can run across. I'm totally fine with that. And anybody else can run across it also if they want to as well. And,
I'm right behind Thorn.
Okay. Make a sneaky roll to see how well you navigate this.
Oh, that is a 9.
9?
15.
Yes.
Oh no, Thorn, you're fine. It's cactus on cactus. You're safe.
Oh, good.
This is how well how well Fenlo does avoiding the spikes and other things like that. Yeah, you're doing pretty well. You make it. You're a little over halfway across, and all of a sudden you just kind of slip, fall, hit your knee, and do an especially long spike. Not the first time it happens. You know, you take a hit point of damage as you follow. What is Borba up to?
I was gonna say, but as you're running across, Borba's like, no wait, take this, and just like hands one of you one end of a rope. And I'm going to stay over here with the other end of a rope.
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So you've got the rope. You're running across the cactus bridge. The two of you are able to get over there. Vicar, right as you feel one of these rope things, like the one in your hand, you've got it, it's kind of resisting you. You feel one coil around each of your limbs, and it feels like they're starting to try to pull you down into the water. Or, sorry, tar.
It's a bad idea for me to light the whole pond on fire, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Let it happen. Embrace the dark.
So you feel yourself starting to get pulled down into the tar then. And we see you kind of, as you're about halfway through that lap around, you kind of get pulled underneath.
Do the rest of us see any rippling on the surface?
There's zero rippling happen. Like every time anything breaks the surface here, the tar doesn't move at all.
All right. So I have basically no way of pinpointing Vicar's location.
Could I back that I used alertness to see exactly, like, move in right before, or to at least notice where Vicar went?
I'll let you burn an alertness to have been, like kind of as you're making your way across, paying attention, and as they try to pull Vicar down, have kind of a bead on where that was at. Yes. Jeremy, what is Vicar doing something? Or were you
just waving as the Vicar?
Cool. You right. So yeah, you've been pulled down below and are now under the tar. We'll come back to you in just 1 second. Y'all it takes you a little ways to make your way across the 90-foot gap, but you get there pretty quickly. You're at the foot of this statue. It's curved. It's not like it's perfectly flat. You could sit. You can make your way around, but it's not a surface that's designed to be stood upon. What are you doing?
I mean, this might be uncomfortable for Vicar, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. I want to create like a mystical light phenomenon under the surface, like where I saw Vicar last time, to try to scare these things away. Just light it up.
Hey, Vicar, what level do you have in mystical? All right, sorry, in mystical.
1.
Okay. So you want to try to cast light within the tar itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully scare these things away.
You cast light. What level do you have? Out of curiosity.
I'm mystical level 3.
Okay. So you see this kind of bright like burning light all of a sudden appear underneath there, and you see what look kind of like bladed fish swimming around underneath there, and you see this tangle of these kind of ropey tails that look like they get much thicker as they get towards the base of the statue, and they seem to be radiating out, and a number of them are wrapped around the outline figure of a body. You also see some other like skeletons floating in there, but this is basically like if you were looking through now a very blackened, like smoky glass almost, right? Glass that has smoke on the inside. You can get this sense only because the light beneath it is so bright.
All right. But it doesn't scare them away in any way.
It does not seem to now.
Okay. All right.
But you do get a very clear sense of exactly where Vicar is.
I put down a flute of earth molding. Could tar in any way be considered earth in form?
You can absolutely roll a d20 for that.
All right, I'll try playing my flute to move the tar away.
I feel like tar is biomatter most properly, but also I like the idea. Roll Why don't you roll plus mystical? We'll see what you can get away with.
All right, that's a 10, unfortunately. 7 plus 3, 10.
The tar doesn't really respond, but like when you're kind of like calling and trying to move, you sense that like the dirt. You can sense the dirt at the bottom of the tar. Like you get a sense of the dirt further down, the earth further down below you, and command that pretty easily.
Cool. Okay, so I'll just try to raise the bottom up and
okay,
lift Vicar up.
Okay,
do I roll again?
No, I think with a 10, that's something easy. Like you all of a sudden see like the light almost like disappears as all of a sudden this like earth comes up behind it and overshadows it. But you see all of a sudden like Vicar being pushed out, but now Vicar is like being pulled across this earth that you've pushed up underneath them. So they are on the surface, but these things are pulling kind of at the edges of Vicar, trying to pull him back down.
Can I skip to some of those things and maybe make some snips?
Yeah, go ahead.
Snip.
All right, that is a 21.
Okay. I think you easily snip through one of these, and it's kind of flips off. It frees up Vicar's left leg.
I fist bump your left knee.
Jeremy, did you have a quip for that?
No, just fuck yeah.
All right, so you're able to free Vicar's left knee. All of a sudden, one of these like kind of comes out like a whip, and it looks like it's aiming for you, Thorn. Make a defense roll for me.
8.
Okay.
But I'm gonna use armored.
All right.
So I can re-roll the defense roll.
Okay.
Since I have 1 level of bloodthirsty, and that's a 19.
Okay. So yeah, you actually like bring up your an especially pokey part of your arm, and it like slashes across that, but doesn't hurt you. Like it kind of reels back a little bit almost, and so it pulls back, and then Fenlo, 2 of them are whipping out at you. Go ahead and make a defense roll for me.
1 second. And that's with
Uh-oh. Are we playing with the optional rule?
Did you just roll a dice on the ground by accident?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big heavy die just fell on the ground. What was the optional rule?
The optional rule is if a dice rolls on the ground at any point, your character dies in a gruesome way at the next possible moment.
If you want to kill a fuzzy,
yeah, I would say I don't know that I can kill. I don't know that I can kill Fenlo right this instant. However, what did you roll?
I don't know. I have not found the die, but I will re-roll.
We were playing the other night on TPK roleplay with Keegan and Aaron and a few of our other contributors, and Keegan is just playing an advanced roll every single dice on the ground and it was an aggressive act towards Mads, the GM, every single time, because then it forced Mads to reset what was happening narratively. And like, there's a there's a common OSR like GM tool, which is like attack the character sheet, like have people lose items or have them lose things that aren't necessarily just hit points. I've never seen somebody take the attack the character sheet model and apply it to the GM, where it's like, hey, no, every time my character dies, you have to figure out how to reset the narrative, and you have to go then change the overlay that you've custom built to have the new name for my new character on it, and it was chaotic and phenomenal, and so kudos to Keegan.
That was what do we add to a defense roll?
Sneaky.
18.
Okay. So you you see these two things coming at you, and you're able to kind of like dodge out of the way of them. Is Borba just chilling on the shore? Like, do. You're muted, Max. Max?
Is there anything that I can anchor the rope to on this side? Like, is there any like growth? If not, I'll just tie it to a camel.
It's an oasis. I mean, your cart is probably a better choice than the camel, but yeah, you can certainly
That
anchor
makes
it down to
sense.
your cart.
Yeah. I'm gonna anchor it down to the cart, and I may or may not at some point whack one of the camels so they run and pull the cart away.
Okay.
Oh,
And then I'm just gonna yell that y'all should get back here because I could do a thing, but I don't want to light y'all on fire. That's a bad idea, right?
All right. Go ahead.
And I'm just gonna like go. I'm gonna like let the rope down, and I'm gonna go to the edge of the water, and I'm gonna like start pulling out the like flint and steel that I have, and just be like ticking it a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's that's round again. So they all attacked. What do y'all want to do?
I want to run up to the statue and try to tear a piece off it.
Okay. Are you just using your bare hands, or are you
My bare cacti hands, yes.
your bare cacti hands? Yeah. Make a bloodthirsty roll to see if you can crack a piece of this off.
That's a natural 1.
Natural 1. You crack your hand on it. So
Yeah.
you like jam your fist to it, and you just lost a bunch of of thorns just off the side there. They're kind of all freckle. There's a little bit of gash. We see a little bit of like water seeping out, and you're losing your hydration now all of a sudden.
Oh my god, that was my tar eel repellent arm also.
Who else wants to act?
I will actually continue snipping away at those.
Okay, go ahead and make a bloodthirsty roll for me.
Yeah. That is an 18.
At 18, you go ahead and you snip through another one. It is your right hand this time, Vicar. So you've got a hand free and an arm free.
And I properly fist bump you on your actual right hand.
You just feel cloak.
Tired cloak.
Who's next? Did you want to do anything, Vicar? I can't tell how much is Foley and how much is just AT&T's excellent wireless
selected
service.
for my abilities are not strong enough.
I don't have strong options.
Okay. I mean, you can still take a weak option.
Since I have a hand free, I will attempt to snip my own.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a weak option.
Yeah, go ahead and make a bloodthirsty roll.
I'll just try to. I will use my. Cool. That is going to be a 15.
All right. So you cut through the line. Which one? Which one do you want to try to cut?
My other arm.
Your other arm. So you get your other arm free. And then what is Borba doing at this point? Still just
They had their warning. I'm gonna try and light the lake on fire.
All right. So you take the steel, you put it down near the tar. It takes a little bit more to get going than the average giant lake of tar does. But it does absolutely start catching. You can kind of see it rolling slowly towards them rather than it being a really fast like whoomp action. It's this, you can actually watch it rippling across the
That's
the
ideal. They have a
surface.
chance to run back across the bridge or something.
So you see me do this. One more of these things is actually going to try to reach out and just smash into Finlow again in this kind of a whip crack maneuver. Finlow, roll a dodge roll for me.
That is a 17.
At 17. So you successfully dodge out of the way. There's only one of these writhing things left besides the one that's holding on to Vickers. So that's all that acts this time around, and y'all can act again.
I'm not sure how much longer my bridge is going to be there. It only lasts for 3 rounds.
Yeah, you look
actually.
up and you can actually see it, like on the far side, the cactuses are starting to like drop off. And
Oh my god!
what happens
And
when
who's-
you're like when your wall disappears? Do they just floof out of existence, or do they just like rot, or what happens?
Yeah, they rot.
Okay. So you've got this rotting pile of cactuses slowly working its way towards you. But also right behind them, a giant wall of fire is also slowly working its way towards you. So there's that.
Yeah, and who is holding the rope on our side?
I think that was me.
Correct.
But, the rope is also flammable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher up, but it's there's a lot of curiosities happening at this moment.
And is Vicker still being held down?
Vicker has one leg. Their leg is
One
still,
left.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll just hit it with a pain bolt. I'll arch my back and throw out a massive storm of cactus thorns.
Yeah, so this like almost blade of thorns cuts through the air and severs this last remaining thing. So Vicker, you are now free. Also, there is not really a cactus. Like you look up and you watch the last cactus like rot and fall into the ground, and about 30 feet behind it, this wall of flame is slowly moving towards you over the ropes.
In my defense, I didn't know the wall of cactuses was going to disappear. I'm sorry I might have doomed you all to a fiery death in the middle of this pond.
Look, it's not an OSR game if you can't accidentally kill your party with an LPC plan that you don't get injured by.
Yeah, next we'll meet the brigands that you hire in the desert to be your new party.
Yeah.
I'll try to like move up the rope while still standing on the ground around the statue and like grab a hold to Finlow and Vicker, and then I just start running out into the tar and pulling myself with my arms.
Okay.
I'm just gonna yell, like, just tie it to the top of the statue and zip line your way back down. I realize you're already as you're yelling. I'm like, no, the top. Okay.
So are you pulling yourself along the rope?
Yeah.
So you're pulling yourself towards the slowly encroaching wall of fire.
I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I've never
Vicker,
been in
go
a
ahead.
burning tar pit.
Vicker, go ahead.
Logistics question.
Yeah.
Pool of tar catches fire just the surface or the whole thing?
So far, it just seems like the surface is burning.
Cool. I'm just going to slip back into the tar.
I'm a terrible friend.
As you get in, you can tell it is sticky now. Like you are getting coated in tar as you slide in. Okay.
I will spend my second slot to cleanse again.
Okay, cool. So you slide easily and smoothly into the now even warmer tar.
I am going to do the only option one can do in this situation, and that's try to ride on Thorn's head.
Yeah.
And we just have his Thorn's head as a human head with a hat on top, right?
You can stand on my fez.
Is it just the face hole cut out, or is it the whole human head?
No, it's just a face hole.
But you got a fez on top.
I have a fez.
Cool.
Badger-sized, kind of.
Bigger, big enough for a badger to ride on. Especially if they flip it upside down and use it like a like a little cart. So you're able to make it up, Thorn. This isn't the first time you do it. I think you know where the handholds are, probably.
Right.
So you get up to the top. You're weighed down by this tar. Things are getting like stickier and stickier as you kind of pull yourself across. You've got the fire kind of working its way up to you, and it's about to get to you. What are you doing? You just pulling yourself through, Thorn?
I'll. Finlow, hold your breath.
I'm just screaming. That's all I'm doing is screaming.
I'll try to like dive under, and hopefully the whole thing is not burning.
You kind of dive down into the tar, and it is dark and you can't see, and it is warm. The fire, you can kind of almost feel the wave of heat pass over you. Now it is a wall of fire. It is still burning behind that. So go ahead and make me a D20 roll. Did you let go of the rope, or did you just fully let go of the rope?
No, I'm trying best as I can to hold on to the rope.
Hold on to the rope. So you sunk down with the rope. Yeah. So go ahead and make a D20 roll for me, plus bloodthirsty.
13.
Cool. Jeremy, you're able to walk back up. You've got to deal with the fire when you get to the shore, but Vicar is able to make the distance. What did you roll, Marcus?
13.
And then Finlow, go ahead and make let's say a sneaky roll for me.
A 14.
14. So you each come out on as you come out on the other side completely coated in tar. You're each going to take a hit of fire damage just for the exit. And you also are completely coated in what is now quickly hardening tar as it's been heated up, and then it's starting to contract and cool in the early evening winds of the desert. And so you at the end, Jeremy, are able to walk out. Is there a way you have in mind to avoid the flames, or are you just going through the flames?
I'll just go through the flames and take the one.
Okay, so you're going to take 1 damage as you come out. Go ahead. Max, what does Borba want to do?
I am going to continue helping. And I wrote down that I have a potion of deluge in my kit. And so
a potion of deluge? Is that what you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Not deluge, not like we're all gonna luge down the side of a mountain, but
no,
okay.
Just like a big rush of water. So I'm gonna just point it kind of like a fire hose, and unstopper it in my continued attempts to be a very helpful, useful thief.
Yeah, I think this this hits you both, and basically has the effect of blowing some of the tar off, hardening some of the tar, and being completely ineffective on the oily tar-like substance. But at least you're not on fire at all anymore. You'll get blown back into the sand unless you want to resist. Otherwise, it's just going to knock you over. Which also now means that some of the tar is just covered in sand. Also, too, you are certainly cleaner. And the fire around you and near you has certainly gone out. And that you actually notice that where the water hits on that tar now, after the fire has crossed over it, that it's kind of hard and thick, and is more rigid and has less of a mirror-like appearance to the surface now.
Oh. Okay, so the next snake tar pit we come across, we'll set it on fire first. All right.
Perfect. I also I want to make sure that Borba knows that everything is forgiven, so I make sure it's with like flecks of tar and drenched in oily water that I give Borba a very large supportive hug. At least like up to his knee. Yeah.
And Vicar, your robes are singed, but you just basically come straight up out onto the land, and we just like see no tar, no anything else. It just fully like there's a little bit in a fold that just kind of whop and plops and just immediately goes back in as you go. But yeah, you are the lake is just kind of the lake of tar is just kind of burning now, but you don't see any bubbling, you don't see any boiling. Like it's just this slowly moving fire, except for the areas that got splashed that are now kind of like hard, rigid, matte, and kind of ruptured. It's just burning, and even those look like the fire on the edge is kind of starting to melt away at them, like they're kind of re-liquefying and going back in.
Huh. Well, Vicar, did you get any sand?
Yes, it's right here.
Success.
You've got like probably after like all that grabbing and grappling, you were able to hold on to it the entire time. You've got what maybe like an ounce and a half of sand in your hand.
I put it in a jar.
Excellent. So you got a jar of now kind of burnt umber sand. Do y'all want to spend more time around the caldera? Do you want to camp for the night? What are your plans?
Do we know like what is the quantity of sand that we were asked to retrieve? Like, was it just bring us these like here are mysterious sands, we don't know anything about them, or like is there a normal delivery?
They'd heard rumors about each of these colors of sand. They wanted you to go get them. You know, a lot of questions. They aren't very specific. This isn't, this is not an MMO. It's not like I need 12 skeins of sand that are perfect. Like they said sand, and you did get the impression like mo sand equal mo treasure at the end of this, but you did not get. They didn't burden you with a specific amount.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Vicar, you've probably seen them eat before, so maybe.
Like, are they like a really hungry crew?
It is but a morsel to how much they consume.
Great.
I mean, the upside is like this is how we negotiate contracts, though. Like they didn't specify an amount, and we brought it back.
Yeah, because
we also did not specify an amount.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
We also did not specify an amount.
Yeah, and it did seem more like they wanted you to bring the sand back, but like they didn't have a lot of knowledge about the specifics of what this sand would be like, and so
to their knowledge, this could be all there is.
This could be all the burn umber sand that there is. That's all.
Yeah. It's a delicacy,
especially when the rest of it's turned to glass.
Correct. All right. Did you want to camp for the night, or did you want to try to head out and make?
We've already got the fire lit.
You do already have the fire lit.
There's also a tentacle monster in this lake, but whatever.
It's gonna burn.
I'm fine. When
the water was lit up, there was definitely a sense of those kind of tendrils are attached to something underneath the statue. Like it didn't affect Vicar until they got close to the statue, and when Thorn looked down, definitely saw the base of the lines attached to the base of the statue. So.
Yeah. So let's not make camp at the base of the statue. Let's move away a bit from the shore.
So y'all made camp for the night. Everybody roll a d6 for me.
5.
2.
1.
I'm sorry, d6?
Yep.
Wow.
4.
And is there anything specifically y'all are doing as far as the way you're handling the evening? Anything specific you want to have happen as people are waking, sleeping, going about their business?
Just as the fire finally burns itself out, I'm going to be playing my harmonica.
Yeah. And I'll accompany that. Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. The harmonica playing by playing my flute, and I'm also conducting a show I've been working on. sand moving about in some kind of ballet thing. Yeah, it's quite the spectacle, to be honest.
Kind of like the water fountains that you see in like Vegas or other places, but it's just sand
like
popping
that.
up out of the ground repeatedly. What's the name? What's the name
of
the
ode
piece?
to the earth.
An ode to the earth. Excellent. Do y'all just go to bed?
I lay face down in the sand.
I assume we're gonna do watch.
That's a question I'm waiting for somebody to specifically state.
I will take first watch.
Face down in sand.
So a 3-person watch is what I'm hearing.
I will take the irritating in the middle of the night watch.
All right.
I've always felt bad for that person. I guess if we're 2 watching, I will take the other watch. I feel very apologetic.
Like you have
for
to wake up
and
then fall asleep again.
Who rolled the 1? Jeremy, go ahead and roll a d20 for me if you would.
8.
Excellent. So in who is the Jeremy, roll a d6 for me. Sorry.
5.
And who was last watch? That was Thorn.
Yep.
So Thorn, a little bit later into the evening, you've been woken up for your watch. Things have moved through the night. You hear like something pounding rhythmically on the sand. Like you hear and you hear kind of a whirring sound. You hear like a clunk, wah, clunk, wah, clunk, wah, in the distance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, have I ever heard anything like this before? I'm guessing not, but
I mean, you've heard. It sounds vaguely like you've seen somebody drive a post around Infernopolis. The sinuous rills, the ones who make the lines that define the city as it constantly shifts. You've seen them drive a fence line. They usually don't last very long, but they've done it, and it sounds almost like a metal fence post being driven into the ground.
I'll wake everybody up, of course. All right, something is happening. I have no idea what. It sounds metallical. Might be coming our way.
I just got to sleep.
No, this is early morning. You've made it through the night, or you've made it through part of the night.
Sleeping face down in the sand. That is hilarious. And still speaking out of the corner of your mouth.
Is it like? Is there a sand outline of some kind of form under your cloak when we wake up? Damn.
All of a sudden, over the edge of the building, over the edge of one of the dunes, Richard, roll 2d6 for me.
A 6.
You see 6 humanoid figures coming up over the edge, and they're carrying something like on a like suspended pallet between them. It's hard to make out in the morning light, but they're obviously metallic, and you hear the consistent, like now more kind of overlapping, like clank, but it's there's now numerous of them overlapping with each other as they're making their way towards you.
I'm going to run slightly, just like a little bit farther away from everybody else, and then I'm going to hide. And I'm going to do that by doing that thing that those sand spiders do, where I just like tuck down into the sand, and I'm just like...
Are you using the hide ability, or are you just being sneaky?
I'm going to use the hide ability.
So you are hidden off to the side, let's say on the far side of the wagon from them. What is everybody else doing?
I'm just going to keep looking at them. I want to find out more.
I'm going to stand up on the wagon just so I look more authoritative.
Okay. They're dark. They're backlit. You almost get the sense of something that looks like glinting off their eyes, and you get the sense of like maybe a sword in their hands. They look like they might be heavily armored as they're making their way towards you. It's very hard to tell, and just the flickering, still mildly burning light of the tar lake that's still almost worked its way burnt out.
Yeah, and there were 6 of them, right?
6 of them carrying some sort of pallet. Yeah.
I have no idea. I'll just wait. Let them come closer. See what they want.
I will begin to lift a cloaked arm and draw a dark rune into the sand.
Does the dark rune signify something?
At one point, I may roll just a holy sort of skill later, but we'll find out.
So you're beginning some sort of ritual, is what you're saying.
I'm setting up for a payoff.
Great, love the lean into the narrative. So you are able to you start tracing this like dark glyph on the ground in a second, and Thorn, all of a sudden you like they look and they shift and they take notice of you. They were going to pass near you, and they start to move closer, and they say. You hear, halt. Halt. And then they all of a sudden stop right next to you. State your purpose.
We are but travelers passing by. Who are you?
What is your purpose?
To get from point A to point B?
You see like a shifting, like they're almost like looking over at each other, moving kind of very rigidly. You will provide repair supplies.
What do you need?
Replacement parts.
I'll look at my friends and look at Vicar doing his thing.
Like, do we look like an AutoZone?
You look like you have parts.
Guess they're not wrong. We do all have parts, I guess.
Yeah. I'll flip them a coin.
It like you hear it like hit the side of one of their face, and you hear like a ding as it like bounces off into the sand, and you hear, "No, we do not need unworked metal. We need parts." And they step a little bit closer, and the light kind of flashes across their faces, and you see what are mostly robots with very obvious human replacement parts worked into them. On the pallet that they're carrying, there is an injured robot who looks like they're missing a couple of legs, which, some of them have legs instead of arms, so a couple is important here, and is missing part of the side of its body. Jeremy, go ahead.
First of all, how are we both in the same mind space right now? I'd like to make, and it could be a high difficult roll, but I would like to enact an unholy ritual to make 2 human arms appear.
An unholy ritual to make 2 human arms appear. Where and doing what?
Just as spare parts from the glyph that I've been drawing in the sand for the last 15 minutes.
Okay. I know it was 15 minutes, but you go ahead and make your roll.
Are you still face down?
Jeremy, go ahead and make your roll plus holy.
Yeah.
So was that a 19 naturally, or what was it? And so,
that was a 20 plus 2. My holy's 2.
Oh, so you got a crit. So you
yes.
That's great. So tell me what these arms look like as they rise out of the sand.
Just boxer's arms, just like a pair of arms that might belong to a boxer. I don't know where they came from,
but they're here.
Cool. So you see like one, and it's actually like got like old-fashioned leather boxing glove that's like torn in half, that erupts out of the ground. The other one has just this bright golden ring that says "Champ" on it. These two giant like powerful arms. And what do you do with them?
That
Walk over. They put the arms where the legs would be, and they're like, you see a mix of welding and you see some sort of energy kind of wash over it as the metal and the flesh kind of knit together, and then they start to move towards Vicar and kind of start to surround him. The one gets off the pallet. There are now 7 of them all around, and they say, "More parts." You look around as the light is now starting to come over the hill. All of these creatures have different missing body parts with them. Like some of, and if it's not missing, it is incorrect. Like arms for legs, legs for arms, half human skulls welded onto it, and it's in some way, shape, or form. This metal and the skulls have been fused with each other, but they are demanding more parts.
So here's the thing. We have kind of 2 options in front of us. We can either break out into a fight per what I think what it wants us to happen, or we can sit here for another day and I can just give it enough rolls, make it.
I'm not gonna make you like. Tell me if you want to actively repair all these robots. You just tell me if you want to repair all these robots as much as possible.
We have 6 days. No, 5 days now, right?
You are coming up on your you have 6 more days. Like you were at the end of your first day kind of out. If that's not what I said, that's what I meant. So you've got 6 days to get back.
Can I TV show style do this while the other 3 go advance our quest, and then I'll slip in from the darkness at some crucial point in the narrative?
If that's what everybody decides to do, is leave you behind while they go look for sand, that is an option.
Sure. I don't want to hold up everybody to make robot parts. I'm also down for the fight. I just, maybe I'll be nice to the robots today.
Maybe the robots know where weird sand is.
I'll try to bluff them. Like, yeah, we saw a bunch of parts way over there, and I'll just point back to where we came from.
That's true.
Go ahead and make a holy roll for me to bluff them, or role play through it. Either way, like if you want to play it out, we can do that, or you can roll it.
I'll just roll it.
Okay.
That's a 19.
Yeah. So they are like, and you see them like again do that same kind of look at each other. They go acceptable.
Yeah, so many parts, I swear.
And they kind of head off in the general direction that you pointed. And morning has arrived. Y'all dig into your breakfast. Everybody hydrates. Which direction do you want to head?
How about north?
Sounds great. I love a north.
Does that sound good?
Also, for sure, as the robots were walking away, you just saw a tiny goblin hand take that one coin that had fallen from the
Like, I'm making my way back to the top. Let's say, Richard, roll a d10 for me.
That is a 3.
As you are about halfway through the day, you haven't seen anything the entire time you've been moving, but the winds are picking up higher and higher, and the sands are starting to rip across the land, and it is getting warmer and warmer to the point where the sand is starting to scorch your very skin. You feel like you could probably keep on pushing through, but anybody who is out and exposed is going to take significant damage, or you could hunker down and see how long this lasts.
I will offer everyone a cloak, of which I have many.
All right.
Whether or not you take it and are protected.
I have my fez and I also have my fan, so I'm gonna start fanning and dousing myself with my mister.
Okay. Excellent. What is Finlow up to?
I am going to try to shield myself behind my hat.
Okay. Any considerations for the camels?
All right, we have camels.
Oh gosh, yeah, we have to take care of them.
I don't know if I have enough cloaks to cover the camels.
Go ahead, Vicar.
I will use bless and throw darkness upon them to block them from the sun.
So read bless to me just to make sure I think about how it's going to apply.
If they have to make rolls, it's give level targets plus level on any one roll.
Okay. So you've got three camels, two like basically so you can keep them rotated and fresh. What level do you have in Holy?
2.
So you're going to take care of 2 of the camels that way. That'll give them advantage on their rolls, basically, right? So, what are we doing for the other camel?
Maybe I could like raise a wall or something to provide some shade with my flute of earth molding.
The issue is not so much the air from above; it's the intense winds and sand mixed together that are basically starting to like cut into skin. Now, a wall could absolutely be an advantage to that. But that is the actual speed of the sand and the heat combined that are the actual issue.
I would like to try to like round up the other camel and kind of lead it behind the other 2 that are blessed.
Okay, so you're going to make a blessed sandwich?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Blessed camel sandwich.
Blessed camel sandwich. Coming soon to an oasis near you. It's the blessed camel sandwich.
I'm really not sure what that is, but I'm 100% in support.
Sure. So we've got cloaks getting spread around. We've got Mister and Fan. Jeremy, did Vicar take an extra cloak, or is just trying to cloak up themselves?
No, I'll narratively take the damage because I'm the darkness.
What about you, Richard?
I was just gonna I don't really have a cloak. I just have my big hat, which at this point has to be a Stetson.
You just pull it down over yourself.
Yeah,
you can also take a cloak from me, or probably you could hide in many of the billowing cloaks I have.
Well, I've also made the camel sandwich, so I feel like I have to I think maybe I'm hiding between the humps with using the humps for shelter on one side, on 2 sides, and the hat.
Sure. I like it. So you can make, if you are braving the danger directly, you can make a bloodthirsty saving roll. If you are hiding between the folds of something or trying to cover yourself, you can make a plus sneaky roll. I will need people to roll for the camels, who will roll with advantage. Markus, I'll let you use your entire mister if you want to roll for advantage. It'll be empty, and you'll have to refill it with water, either
I'll do that
from somewhere, or dip into your stores, one of the 2.
It is a 5.
Okay, so you're going to take a hit of damage, which anybody out there watching, and down we go. A hit is what you get. Heavier attacks do 2 hits or 3 hits, but it's fairly normal for some type of damage like this to do a hit. And
so
I got a 14.
Just to ask, we healed our previous damage overnight?
No, you don't.
Okay.
And so part of the lethality of Down We Go is that healing only comes through very specific things. Between adventures you would heal up, but on adventures you do not, unless something interferes.
So I rolled a 17 on my bloodthirsty roll.
Okay, cool. You're set.
I'm set. Yep.
I got a 4, and I got a 14 on my sneaky roll because I feel like I'm better.
You got a 14 on your sneaky roll. You take a hit of damage.
Yeah, right.
Jeremy,
9.
hit of damage. Who's rolling for the camels?
Perfect.
I'll roll for a camel. We have 3 camels, right?
Give me 3 camel rolls. They each get advantage though, so give me the higher number of 2.
Okay, I'll do one.
One
I
got
got an
11.
18 for one.
Oh,
Wait, one got 11.
One got 11
Is their highest roll?
as their highest roll.
Okay.
I got 18
Okay.
for one of them.
Who rolled the last one?
14.
14. So the 2 camels, the unblessed camel on the inside actually fared better in the camel sandwich than the 2 blessed camels on the outside, who each seem very unhappy and look like their hair is almost like steaming from this day of kind of journeying through the waste. You guys headed north. What direction do you want to head now?
Northwest.
Northwest.
yeah.
Somebody roll a d10 for me.
3.
Let's see. We are gonna do. The heat has increased. So in order to stay like hydrated, you're able to keep moving. The winds aren't quite as bad today, but the heat is so bad, requiring you to go through an extra day's worth of water to stay hydrated. So you have been another day, right? So this was 5 days left, 4 days left, but you now have only 3 days worth of water left. Unless you have a way you want to try to deal with it.
I do not, unless I can pain bolt the heat.
No, it doesn't. You can try. It doesn't work. It'll reset the next 24 hours. Don't worry. So,
Can I intimidate the heat?
can you intimidate the heat? You try, and it doesn't. It doesn't seem that that intimidated. What direction do y'all want to head next?
Southwest, maybe.
So like this. Correct.
Hmm.
All right. So you head southwest. Roll a d10 for me, Max.
5.
Max, go ahead and roll again for me. A d10.
Oh no. 6.
The day tell me about the watch order as y'all settle in for the night. Who is taking which order of watch? Is it the same as before? Is that the pattern y'all have fallen into every day?
I assume Vicar just keeps face down.
Yep.
Okay.
As we can see. Yep.
Yeah.
And I got the last watch.
Sure. Vicar, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Three.
Who is middle watch?
Me.
So Borba, you look up at the sky in the middle of the night and you just see one of the most beautiful things you've seen in a long time. The moonlight is kind of cascading over the edge. It's a beautiful full moon. All of a sudden, it starts to turn a little bit more red, which you've seen in these middle night watches before. But then all of a sudden, you see something move in front of the moon, and it slowly eclipses it, and you feel something twist inside of your soul, and you're not entirely sure what it is. And then the rest of the night passes without incident.
Great. My soul is more twisted than before.
Go ahead, do me a favor, Max. On your character sheet, go ahead and write however many items you have. Go ahead and number them for me, and then tell me the number of items you have.
I have 8 items, including like rations and water and whatever.
Great. What direction do y'all want to head next?
Why not back north?
Not including cloaks. I don't know if cloaks count.
You want to head back north?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Midnight at the Junk Oasis.
Wow, those are so pretty.
All right. And you you have reached the Undying archive. In front of you, you see a sealed silo that seems to be holding secrets lost to time. You can't tell quite what's inside, but littered around the ground, you see what look like old barrels, some of them spilling seeds out that are growing plants of all different shades and hues here in the middle of the desolate sand. You see robot parts and other mysterious kind of shiny items sticking out of the ground. But you can't necessarily perceive that there is a specific entrance you're supposed to go into. There's a forest of sandstone pillars that kind of dot the ground between you and them. Each one of the pillars seems to have a different ecosystem growing on the top of it from some of those same types of seed. And then you see two crashed vehicles nearby. They seem to be badly in need of new parts. No, they're not creepy human vehicles. They're just broken and need parts. But they're all just kind of laying there. What do you do?
And we could not see any entrance. Was that correct?
You see a bunch of glyphs kind of all around the edges. Are any of you like particularly familiar with like arcane or complex languages?
Nah.
I like how one of the two that could have been helpful was like absolutely not right away. And so yeah, you can't quite make out what it says. You do notice that the figures on some of the glyphs around the edges do bear some similarities to some of the glyphs you saw on the robots who came and found you, or coming to the tar pit the day before, or a few days before.
I'll go inspect the plants growing. Like, see what are they? What kind of soil are they growing in?
Yeah, so you kind of look through these plants and you see a lot of different types of soil. A lot of them actually are different types of sand. You see, you see this kind of deep purplish sand that has these kind of vibrant purple flowers growing out of them that they kind of burst open with they're in a couple different states. Like the ones that are not open have this kind of thick heavy honeyed liquid inside, and then they'll burst open onto the ground, and it looks like there's animals that have kind of come up to lap up whatever this liquid is, and you look around and each one's a little bit different as you go through and look at each of them. Max, go ahead and roll a D8 for me, please.
A 1.
What was the number one item on the list that you had noted?
My backpack.
But
I guess the number one item within my backpack.
Either way you want to go.
Would be water.
You're all standing around and you go to grab for your canteen out of your backpack. It's just not there.
Anybody got some water?
Where did you put it? How can you lose your water? We're in the middle of a desert. That should be the most important thing.
I'm like grabbing through the layers of cloak.
I mean, first the fire and now this. Are you trying to kill us?
Possibly.
You have 2 watches the coming night.
I continue to look through the folds of my cloak to see if there are somewhere that I have hidden it, but I'm very curious about the shiny objects.
Yeah. So as you go dig through the items, dig through the things, go ahead and roll a D10 for me.
A D10, is that what you said?
Yep.
A 6.
The first thing you come upon is what looks like, it kind of looks like Thorn's Mister, but it's got a bigger vat on it, and whenever you do it, you hear kind of this like, it's got way more high power, but the vat that's kind of screwed on the end is completely empty, and it has what looks like kind of a flame symbol inlaid on it.
That's not good.
Cool.
I'm pissed.
Why?
Fire is the light.
Mhm.
I hate it. It stinks.
As y'all are spending your time here, Fenlo, go ahead and make a D20 roll for me.
Yes, sir.
But also it makes the
15.
shadows.
15.
15.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you had been poking around in these different things. You'd seen these like spilled kind of like honey-like liquid on the ground that these animals are coming up. All of a sudden, you hear like a shriek from the sky, and this giant kind of mangy orivaptor like dives out of the sky. It's like a skeleton. I mean, it's like a dinosaur with very slight wings. Dives out of the sky and grabs one of these small little marmot-like creatures and just gobbles it up whole. And as you look up above in the sky above you, there are a lot of these starting to gather.
Okay, I'll pull out my flute and start playing to move the sand away from these. The part of the structure where the glyphs are.
Okay.
Trying to reveal more of it. Hopefully, there's an entrance somewhere.
So you start pulling all the same backs. What is everybody else doing?
Does nobody else want to taste the weird honey?
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't this your whole jam? I'm just gonna like stick my finger in it and try it out.
I'm gonna like try to keep an eye on the birds while also sticking a claw into the honey and nibbling on the claw.
So as y'all get all close, that creature is still kind of in the middle of this area. So y'all are moving into like nearer to this giant thing. Like it landed and reached down and bit one of these things. They all kind of scampered off. So y'all get the honey. You're not right there, but you are near it. Like there's a number of these, and it's kind of near one of the ones near you. So you're having to move closer to it. Just FYI. But yeah, you taste it. Finlow, give me 2 of the flavor notes that immediately jump out at you from this incredibly sweet foreign flower honey-like substance.
Strong amber notes, like that overwhelming sort of strong amber, and anise.
Okay.
Maybe wormwood, but probably anise.
Okay. And then Max, give me one more flavor note that goes with that.
It's just like it's something that's super like there's a really bitter sour end.
Okay.
Like super citrusy, but like so tart that it hurts.
Okay.
Like Seville oranges.
Love it. So yeah, that's kind of the flavor profile that you get as you taste this honey. It's also like it's mildly intoxicating. Like you're not losing control or anything, but it is delicious, and so you feel really good eating it.
Sometimes after this, with the stuff you eat, it takes an hour or 2 before it really kicks in. So
yeah. Also, maybe we'll get wormwood poisoning if we ingest enough or whatever.
So you've been able to move
not.
a lot of the sand out of the entryway, and you're seeing a series of like, it almost looks like a column gear, and then like something that you feel like almost indicates like shift, but you can't quite figure out what it is.
And tell me again about these pillars.
The pillars are
outside
just
the,
sandstone pillars that are all around the thing. And like I said, the top of each one has different types of plants growing out of it. There's actually a barrel of seeds on the ground that looks like It's just a mix of these things that are on the ground, but most of them at the top, they have different plants kind of coming out of the top.
Hey, Vicar, come over here. Take a look at this.
Yes.
What do you make of this?
It looks like some sort of glyph.
Exactly what I thought. We're onto something.
Did you want me to solve the problem? Is that
Yes,
okay? Let me
please.
try again. Let me look at this. Hold on. Give me some time. Can I make a mystical check to get a hint from our GM here? That'll be a 17.
Sure. So you as you look at these, like I said, the only thing that you've seen similar is those robot creatures from yesterday. Had some similar markings on them, not the same. And as you think that and you're looking at some of these symbols, there's an obvious connection to the behavior of those robots and these glyphs.
And you said they were broken? Like there were some machines that looked like they were missing parts?
Yeah, they look like they're two sand vehicles. Like they've got giant sails that look like they're ripped up and torn up, and some of the parts have gone. Y'all have heard rumors about a band of scavengers. Markus, what's the name of the scavengers you've heard a rumor about in this desert?
They are called the Sand Reavers.
Okay, you've heard about the sand reavers who drive in vehicles very similar to this, but these ones appear to be not currently operable.
Is there any indication of a door or something, like a slit? Anything that you could trace your fingers around to find a door on this wall?
There is an archway, kind of. It's angled. It almost looks like a half of a hexagon that has these glyphs set in it that you think could be a doorway.
Can we turn the gears?
You try to turn the gears, they don't turn.
I'll trace my fingers in them, in the glyphs.
You trace it around, you don't get a particular reaction there either.
You said there was a fire glyph earlier?
On the canister that Borba picked up, yeah. It had a very different style. It does not look like the same type of thing at all.
Cool.
Like I said, these as you look at them, you actually can kind of tell that there's a silhouetted, it's almost like the shapes that they indicate some sort of motion or movement.
Sweet Fenlo, with all of your bloodthirsty strength, would you try to push on one of these columns?
Oh, let me clarify. They seem to suggest not that they move, but that they are suggesting a certain type of movement you should do. Like with the 17, you almost get that these are some type of instruction.
Please do a dance. Please bless us with a dance, oh unholy one.
Do it.
If this is a just universe, it should be the locomotion.
One more time.
If this is a just universe, it should be the locomotion.
Do the locomotion.
Not the robot?
Wow. That's 2 for 2 for Maxwell over there. Honey Badger and the robot, strong.
I'm trying. It's hard.
Yes. I really want.
Are you indicating that you walk and move like one of the robots?
I am indicating that I am full of gears underneath my cloak.
As you start to stomp around in the same manner that the robots did that you encountered the other day, you all of a sudden see every time you stomp and then stop, you'll see like one of the glyphs start to like barely shimmer, and it works until you get to the shifting part.
If that doesn't do it, we're leaving.
With that, you see the shifting part light up, and you see the door just kind of crack, and you feel a rush of like clean, cool air come out from inside. It seems like it was almost hermetically sealed.
Does it open all the way? Can we get in?
It looks like you've like cracked it, but it doesn't look like it's designed to come down on its own. So if you kind of go up, you can force it down as much as you want to. It looks like it's still partially buried underneath the sand, and so not able to come all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enthralled with the dancing. I don't even notice that it.
Yeah,
How can you not be?
I sort of want to rush towards the clean, cool air, but really the dance has me.
Isn't the real treasure the dance that we all did along the way?
Really, if the dirt lickers don't appreciate the fact that we brought back this dance,
He's still going.
Everybody thinks you're just dark and creepy, but I think you're an artist.
I'll try to open it a bit more.
Okay. You're able to, you're able to get it down enough for that anybody who wants to be able to basically climb in, like up a little bit at an angle and slide in, will be able to get inside.
I'll get inside.
Yeah, fine. Like I'll follow.
If I watch this dance anymore, I'm gonna start dancing myself, and y'all don't want that, so I'll get in.
I'll be inside in 20 minutes.
There, as you slide inside, you see. You're in kind of like a walkway, and you see that it kind of plummets down into the darkness on any side of you. And at the end of this walkway, in the middle of this giant open area, there's just a set of spiraling staircases that go down, but it's incredibly dark in here.
Oh.
Yes! And I just sprint inside. I'm gone.
I light a torch and go after the names left me. The dancing priest.
Sure.
The dance enchanted his name completely
Vicar.
out of my brain.
The Vicar.
Vicar. I'm sorry, Vicar.
So the staircase kind of spirals, and then it'll have a flat area. Every time there's a flat area, there's a series of just levers that you can pull on each one of them. Some of them are down, some of them are up, some of them are about halfway down. It doesn't look like they're all necessarily in great repair. There's also, as you make your way down a little bit further and can see now, there's kind of these long almost like drawers that come out of the walls towards that central spiral staircase. As you kind of make your way down, you can see very few of them are all the way out, but you can see that there's a number of them that are kind of popped out as you go down.
Can we see a bottom?
How long are you going to go down for?
Is there something like something small, like a small rock or a pebble that I can pick up from the?
Sure, yeah. If you want to reach outside and grab a rock real quick, absolutely.
Yeah. Then I'll cast light on it and just throw it down the middle and see for how long it goes.
Excellent. I think like Markus is just convicted that light should be a really useful spell, and so he's using it a whole lot more because we've talked about
that was my whole purpose.
Whether light, he's like, I'm going to play mystical, so I could use light as much as possible, proving its value.
Yep.
You watch it kind of plummet down. You don't even hear it hit the ground, but you do see it off in the distance.
On plummet 8, you saw me.
You also get a sense as it's plummeting down of some of like the drawers that you see go past. You see like intact robot bodies. You see more of these things. Everything in each of these drawers seems to be meticulously labeled and cataloged.
I would like to pull a lever.
Yeah, sure. Pull a lever.
Do it.
Just like any lever, if there's like a particularly
Shiny lever.
attractive looking lever, I will pull said lever.
D4 for me.
Did you say D4?
Yep.
I rolled a 4.
So you rolled a D4, or you rolled a 4. Go ahead and roll a D10 for me.
3.
A 3. You find a drawer inside. There are a bunch of what looks like beetles inside of it.
Like live beetles or like mechanical beetles?
They're in the drawer still, so they're not moving, but they're inside this jar, kind of laid sideways in this precisely sized receptacle for the jar to fit there perfectly.
100% take the jar of beetles.
As you pick it up, they start to flicker around and move inside the jar.
Ew. I hate that. I hate this so much. This is the worst ASMR.
You're welcome.
So yeah, you find those beetles.
Great jar of beetles. Got it.
Since one lever got his treasure, I'm going to try another lever.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a D4 for me.
That's a 1.
And go ahead and roll the D10 for me.
That is a 9.
Go ahead and roll a D4 for me again.
A 1.
You pull out what looks like a scroll of move sand.
I roll it up very carefully and hand it to Thorn.
I will accept this scroll, though I do not need it, for I have my flute.
So like anytime your flute's referenced, there's a jazz flute riff that needs to play in the background.
Like, Vicar's not here, so I
She's still dancing somewhere.
What to do with the scroll?
Yeah, thank you. If I find something badger-like, I will pass it to you.
So you get this you play your jazz flute. What's next?
I mean, I think we're probably gonna follow.
Yeah,
Vicar, go ahead.
Right? Like,
Do we want to open the rest of these drawers first? There's only 2 more.
There's
right?
a ton of drawers. You can just keep on opening drawers if you want to.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
it is. So you actually are getting the sense of all it is like you go down. There's a bunch of levers. You pull them, and then and it's hard because you can't reach all the things in there without climbing out into these drawers. You're just grabbing whatever is closest to you. But there's more stuff like this further back in that drawer. It is just a giant storage unit that somebody made at some point in time.
Oh, well, in that case, yeah, we should just go find Vicar, who's really excited about the darkness right now.
I mean, this is basically Pawn Stars at this point in time. Vicar, go ahead.
What do I find at the bottom?
So as you get all the way down there, you find it looks like this giant library. There's all these books down there. You just kind of, as you walk down to the bottom of the steps, you're completely surrounded in them. Hey, it's our friend Petri just logged in. So excited to have you. Thanks for your support so far. Watching over on YouTube also too. We are playing Down We Go using the Undying Sands by Games Omnivorous. So it's a hex crawl, which is what you see in between us right now. They're in this giant silo in the middle of the desert. Yeah, but it's just a giant library full of books. They are all uniformly bound, have similar printing on the spine. They're all in that robot text of glyphs that you don't exactly know how to read, though.
I'll grab a couple.
Okay. You got a couple of robot textbooks now.
Yeah.
books.
I mean, text from the robots, not like school books.
No.
I mean, it could be school books, but Yeah. So again, it's just down here. It's just books upon books upon books upon books for the most part. There are a couple as you get to the edge. There are a couple of what look like display cases. Some of them are empty. Some of them are full. You see a fully intact robot that's looks like it might be in some kind of stasis in front of you, but it's perfect and pristine. You also see what looks like a fully intact like wind buggy from up on the surface also too.
Oh, let's take it for do we take parts from it and try and fix a wind buggy, or like it's too big to carry up the stairs, right?
Yeah. Correct. And even as you look at it on that light, you notice that it looks like it's in perfect condition as you're like flipping things open and looking. Someone has taken parts out of this already.
We could try and wake up the robot and see if the robot knows where Cool Sand lives.
Yep.
It might try to take us for parts, but is there an on button?
Yeah, if you look at it, you can actually be like it's actually a pretty simple interface. Like it's in stasis right now. It's very obvious that like, hey, here's a lever. I can flip that lever the other direction and it'll either kill it or remove it from stasis, one of the two.
Kronk, pull the lever. Yes.
I pulling the lever is the only option. I say in Badger.
Jeremy, did you have something you wanted to say, or were you just putting your hand on the lever?
I'll just put my hand on the lever.
Okay.
I was doing physical comedy for everyone.
All right, just making sure. So you pull the lever down, and yeah, you watch this thing kind of like straighten up a little bit. It turns its eyes. It kind of scans across. You all shifts back really quick. Greetings and salutations. How may I be of service?
Who are you?
I am. Can I be of service for you?
We're looking for sands of varying colors.
A green one and one that I missed.
Green, red, burnt umber. We got the umber. Green and red. Green and red?
Green and red sand can be found, and it starts listing off a number of geographic locations, like very obviously, like it's like the da dunes and the this lakes, and they're like da. And like it's listing off a long list of places you might be able to find those types of sand.
Closest to here? Please filter by proximity.
Closest to here, and you see it kind of hold on, and it walks over to one of the bookshelves, and like arm moves over, arm moves down, hand grabs it, flips it open, and then it lists off alcove number, and then it lists a long string of letters and numbers. Has red sand, and then alcove number, and then long string of letters and numbers has green sand.
Can you take us to those alcoves?
Yeah, those alcoves would be nice.
Affirmative. Follow me, and it like takes you up, and it goes up like one level, and it like pulls the lever, and then you see it like grab onto the side of the drawer and like grab the red sand out, and then like it comes back almost as if like it basically like buckets itself out there, buckets itself back, and hands you the red sand. Then it takes you like 3/4 of the way up. And it's the same exact, like pulls the lever, goes out. Here is the green sand, and it's about 1 pound each of the types of sand that you're looking for.
Oh, so much sand.
Perfect.
Is there somewhere in here that has water? Is there a level that has lever that correlates to water?
Drinkable water.
Important different. Yes, thank you.
Potable water. Yeah.
Good clarification. Yes.
Roof evaporators currently inactive.
Damn it.
Roof evaporators. Where are those, and how do we get them active?
In the roof.
Roof evaporators are located on the roof.
And how do we get them active?
They must be repaired. You can find the replacement rooftop evaporators in alcove. Like this off.
Okay, I turn to everybody. I suggest we have sand. We have a very helpful robot friend. We could repair the evaporators to get enough water for me to survive. I realize you all are fine. I don't know. And maybe repair one of those cool flying things to fly us back home?
Yes. So many times.
I feel like with the, and this is, maybe this won't turn out, but my intention is to get the robot to help us fix both the evaporators and like one of the little buggies.
Sure. You I mean, you're able to get to the alcove, you're able to get to the evaporators as you go, and if you go back up to the surface with the evaporators, those dinosaur-like creatures that were swarming before have become much more numerous, and they are swooping low over the roof and around the plants, grabbing small animals off the ground.
Robot, are there machine guns in here?
They can't do that all day, I'm sure.
No.
Eventually they're going to
they'll have to eat a bunch of them.
So y'all just want to wait them out?
What's their camel situation? Are the camels getting eaten by dinosaurs?
They haven't done anything to the camels. Like they're not bothering them. They're parked a little ways out. They mostly seem to be in the area around the trees and not as interested in the camels, which are parked on the outside of that.
And we are 4 days in? How many days? Is it a day per hex?
4 days, but 5 days worth of water, meaning you have 2 days left of water.
Yes. And do we feel like we could orient ourselves back towards, like, do we think we know where we're going to go back?
That's a great question. Is there a way that you would know how to do that?
The stars? Not me.
The infinite burning tar pit?
I mean, the tar pit smell is going to travel.
I mean, for the first day, you could see the smoke from the tar pit going up into the sky. So if you got within a day of the tar pit, it would give you kind of a point of location if it's still burning, which it showed no signs of stopping when you left. So as long as it doesn't rain between now and then, you'll probably be fine.
What about the robots we encountered? Did they make any kind of I mean, can we follow trace them back somewhere somehow?
I mean, when you guys were in the sandstorm, it basically was covering up your tracks as you were going. So if you can find them, you could potentially track them as long as the sand hasn't been blown around and covered up their trail.
Hello, robot butler.
Yes, how may I be of service?
These creatures out here, and I'm just standing in the entryway, these. What can you tell us about them? Do they have a weakness? Are they afraid of anything? What are they?
Oh, interesting. And they're it's like, hold on. You wait 20 minutes while it walks down to the bottom and comes back up to the top, even though it can it spirals down very quickly, and then it's like a slow spiral back up. Genus omnivoraptor, lists off a whole bunch of facts. They're cold-blooded, so they don't like it when it gets cool. They are daytime creatures, so the likelihood is they will stop at night. They are mostly scavengers. And so he gives you kind of the rundown of these creatures and the basic information about them that you would get in the average 30,000 reference book that you might get, 30,000 foot reference book that you might give a kindergartner, right? You get those kind of details.
Great. You're an excellent robot butler. I appreciate you.
Can they be tamed?
There is no known recordings of taming one of these creatures.
How big are they?
Y'all were close enough to one. They are about 2/3 the size of a human as far as height goes, but wingspan is about 1.5 times the size of a human.
I'd like to go invisible.
You turn invisible?
Mm.
You turn invisible?
I would like to make my way behind one.
One that's feeding? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I would like to get behind it while I'm invisible. So
Okay.
I'm hiding.
Sure.
So I can backstab it.
Okay.
I'm going to wrench its head back and pour, like, my cloak will move over its face, and I'll pour liquid black into every orifice it can find.
Sounds good. How much damage does that do?
It says inflict level hits if attacked from behind.
So how many
1.
how many sneaky levels do you have?
1.
Oh, so it does 1 damage. So you look into this thing's eyes, you pour like liquid shadow down into it.
Cool.
And then you hear it
Keep
shriek.
pouring until it passes out.
Well, so you hear it shriek, and then it tries to snap at your face. So go ahead and make an initiative roll for me. Actually, go ahead and make a defense roll for me.
Sure.
So 20 plus sneaky.
That'll be 15. 14 plus 1.
You you've done this before, so as it tries to snap at you, you're already ready with like the practice, like head flick out of the way. But it is now aware.
Well, actually, just bites into the cloak and catches nothing.
That's also possible. That works too. It then like roars and tries to launch itself into the air. What do you do?
I would like to continue to pour inky black into it.
Do you have another ability that you're using to do that?
Just a regular hit, but same flavor.
Okay, regular hit, but same flavor. Absolutely. So you're kind of like pouring this inky substance down onto it as it's fighting to get away from you. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, or just a D6.
Sure.
Yep. What is everybody else doing while this happens?
I mean, I guess if we're gonna be horrible to them, we're gonna be horrible to them. This is so. Like,
I'm just getting a pet. We don't have to fight.
How is this getting a pet?
I've seen this on nature channels, I believe.
You all hear the screech in the distance as you see this happening, and you see like a bunch of other of these creatures burst into the air, these air raptors, and start swarming around over where this is happening.
Real talk, you can hide inside, and if I get pecked to death, I'm wicked cool.
I'll turn to the robot butler and ask, do you have any weapons? Like on you? Do you have any defense mechanism?
I am merely here to serve the archivist.
Mm-hmm.
Are we the archivist now?
We are the collective archivist.
Like, how many flying raptors are there?
Roll 2d6 for me.
4.
There are 4 that are surrounding the one that Jeremy is trying to ride / kill / befriend.
I think I just want to wait and see how that plays
really
out.
Complicated in this. In
It's
the
true.
desert. Yeah.
It's true. My initiative roll was a 1.
Okay. So this thing like bucks you back, and it kind of like pops up into the air, while one of the other ones comes down and tries to take a grab at you. The other ones two of them kind of land in defensive positions between you and it, and the other one drops down close, like does a swoop near the door but can't get in. So go ahead and make a defense roll for me, Jeremy.
Sure.
So D20 plus sneaking.
Yep. That'll be an 18.
You are able to either it hits you where you are not, or dodge out of the way, one of the two. However, it does not injure you. You are welcome to describe it to your flavor preference, though.
The former, for sure. Just keeps pecking at a cloak, but there's nothing in there.
Nothing in there that it can find.
Yeah.
Excellent. What is everybody else doing?
I can't bear to watch. I have to like go help Vicar.
I'm fine.
Like Vicar saved us through the art of dance. So I have
if you're
to
just
go help
saying
Vicar.
where there are robots in the Undying Sands, and Vicar may have done the robot to open up the thing. I'll actually read the text. I just liked the way it was working out based on the description we'd had so far. The actual text of that location is The entrance can only be revealed by the algorithmic song of the ancient robots. And so, based on everything we had done so far, I interpreted that as, yeah, you gotta walk like they walk or do the robot. That's great.
Yeah, I just can't let Vicar get distracted from his relationship building with the creatures of the desert by
So what is Finlow doing?
I'm just gonna swoop in there and or dart.
Okay. Are you trying to get past the one that is blocking your way, or are you taking that one on head on?
The one blocking my way, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to swipe. I'm just gonna have to move straight into it.
Okay. So you're full on. Go ahead and make a D20 plus bloodthirsty roll to attack it.
That is a 14.
14. You hit because it's on the ground. Absolutely. So go ahead. Are you going for a wing here? Or are you going for the body? What were you going for?
I would really love to just video game style, just like sideswipe it out of the way, but okay. Otherwise we'll go for the wings.
Yeah, I think through the wing, like it basically has put itself before you. You get close, it kind of flat puts its wings up to block you, and you just go like slit through one of the wings, and you're past it, and you hear it scream in pain as you dart through its now eviscerated wing and your small stature and are through to the other side. What is Borba doing, Max?
Is there one that I can like get behind? Like I would like to help thin the herd a little bit, I think.
They're mostly facing you. However, the one that just got its wing cut open is fairly close and is now trying to look behind it. Like you are technically in front of it, but it's doing the thing where it was like, and then like now its attention is here and there, and so it has got like a wing kind of pointed at you, but you can definitely access its back.
Great. I guess I'm gonna club it. I guess we're clubbing it. You think this is you making friends, but to me it looks like we are going to die of large dinosaur death. So
they're just medium-sized. I mean, from a dinosaur perspective, they're small. They're, but I mean,
I'm only 4 feet tall.
Right. From a goblin perspective, they're huge. And so you're going to use your cudgel of sleep. Is that what you're going to use?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make your bloodthirsty roll.
Well, I rolled a 4.
Yeah, you like go to do it, and then like it turns, and it like as it turns, you go whiff right behind it, where it just was a second before. Markus, what is Thorn up to?
Thorn is not sure what's going on at all, so I'll just painbolt the closest.
That's the same one that Borba just missed. So go ahead. You painbolt how many levels?
3 hits of damage.
You hit into this thing. The wing close to you gets torn up. These things tear into its body. It is covered in thorns, and it lets out like a painful dying as it falls to the ground.
Another badger?
This is much
very
more
clearly distinct.
Very distinct.
So, I don't say that out loud, of course, since I only speak badger, but I imitate another badger, and it's very really. The death cry of a dinosaur is very different from the battle cry of a badger.
Oh, okay, my bad.
They sound remarkably alike.
Maybe the cactus ears.
Jeremy,
exactly
are you still just shadow pouring on this thing?
Yeah.
So you are you do another unruly damage to this thing. Are you attempting to subdue it? Is that what you're trying to do? So all of a sudden you see go ahead.
Yeah, yes. Ultimately, pet, whatever version of that has to take, whether that is filled with a dark soul or necromantically risen from the ground. I'm fine either way.
You see it like start to get like woozy, and it like drops to the ground behind its two friends, who are now like coming at you and like starting to bite towards you. And so, but yeah, you get to keep on pouring on Shadow as part of that. Is that everybody's gone? Jeremy, make 2 defense rolls.
The first one is a 7.
Okay.
And the second is a 5.
So tell me what it looks like when they try to bite you and it is successful.
There's still nothing on it, but they're getting like pieces of cloak and shredding torn away. There's still like, if at any point the vicar falls, it will just be a crumpled cloak.
So it's almost like the light coming into the cloak is what's doing you damage more so than the actual birds themselves. Yeah, so you see these kind of like pinpricks of light appear inside the cloak. You take 2 damage.
Sure. That brings me up to 4 total.
Oh, so you should be working down from your max HP. So what is your highest level?
My highest level is 2, which is holy.
Okay, so you had 4 to start with, plus 1.
That's
so you
correct.
are now at 1 health.
Cool. Perfect.
And so you are also getting kind of woozy on your feet. There's a lot of light shining through that cloak. And one of them is now swooping at you, Thorn, over by the door as it saw you unload these. Go ahead and make a defense roll for me.
All right, 8.
So 8, it swoops and it clips you with its talons on its feet, tearing at you and giving you 1 damage as well.
Ouch!
And that is their round of actions. So go ahead. What do y'all want to do?
I realized that I maybe did this wrong. If I can hit it from behind, if there's one that I can whack from behind, I can backstab, and I think it just guaranteed works.
You missed, and you were behind one who was dead. The one who just swooped at Thorn, if you time it right, like if it attacks Thorn again, you could essentially get behind it, but you're going to have to, let's say you need to basically act last to see if that happens or not.
Yeah, I'll wait until there's an opportunity to sneak in behind and try and...
do you have acrobatics?
I don't.
Okay. So you could use acrobatics to position yourself immediately, but who's next?
Now, how many are left besides Vicar's new friend?
Besides Vicar's new friend, there's 1 in the air and 2 kind of on the ground.
Okay.
That have surrounded Vicar. So Vicar's new friends.
At this point, I think my best option is just to rage
Against the machine?
Yeah. Well, against the dinosaurs, which was the original band long ago.
I like to walk the dinosaur sometimes. So yeah, you're raging, so you're gonna get to make 2 attacks this turn, correct?
I am. I'm gonna make 2 attacks.
Okay.
Against one of them that's sort of trying on the ground, that's trying to like surround Vicar.
Sure.
That is a bad roll, followed by another bad roll. The highest roll is 10.
You managed to hit the first time, but not the second time, and so you feel your claws bury into this creature, but then it kind of leaps a short distance away to get out of your reach on the second one.
I think it's a free attack on me.
The other one leans in and make a defense roll.
That's a 2.
So you take 1 damage as this other one that didn't hop away leans in and grabs onto your small badger arm.
Now, how do we calculate our hit points?
So whatever your highest level was, which if bloodthirsty is the case for you, you would have started with 5. Mm-hmm. You have leveled up enough to take an additional hit points. Every 3 levels you get 1 more HP. So you started at 6, and then you're going to count down from there.
I've got 2 from there. Yeah. I've got 2. So
I don't know if the one person who took holy took healing or not. and I don't know what items people came in with. So party build matters sometimes, all the time. Cool. So y'all go ahead.
Yeah, Thorn. I'm gonna throw another pain bolt at the dinosaur occupied with Finlow.
So the one that just came in on Finlow. So Painbolt happens automatically. You're level 3. You're going to do 3 damage. And it, again, same thing. Tears through the wings. It's actually got like an outline of a cloak in the middle of it where you perfectly like went around Jeremy's character and outlined them while killing this thing. Great needlework. And it drops to the ground with, again, gurgle blood splatter.
How many badgers are there?
And then is that
They
and
just
then,
keep coming.
Max, you see the other one starting to kind of swoop back in towards Thorin as he's turned his attention. You can go ahead and use your backstab ability if you would like.
Cool. I have a 3 in sneaky.
Okay, so as it's coming, like about to hit Thorin from behind, you pop out from behind like one of those sandstone pillars, like plant your foot on it. You're up in the air and you're like coming down. What kind of weapon does Borba use?
It's a cudgel.
A cudgel. You're just like thwack across the back of the head. You might have put it to sleep because it's the cudgel of sleep, except for you also cracked its skull wide open. So
yeah,
it's also the cudgel of death sometimes.
That happens a lot.
So
it's the cudgel of long sleep.
The cudgel of long sleep. And it crashes to the ground. You almost kind of ride it down onto the ground. There is the one that kind of hopped away left standing. And it is kind of pulling itself back over, and it's going to try to take a bite at Richard. Richard, roll a defense roll for me.
That is another 2.
So you roll a 2, and you're going to take another hit point of damage.
I have 1 hit point.
We got the makings of a couple deaths here.
It's the greatest.
We are also. I haven't checked the entire time we've been playing. I know Marcus has probably been on refresh over there. I can see it in the reflection of his glasses. But we're at basically $4,200 right now. So we are 93% towards funding on. I am super excited. Thanks everybody who's watching this now or later who has funded. We'll pop this video out for everybody also too. But yeah, I'm super stoked. What's next? Did you failed your roll? So you got 1 hit point left. It's who wants to act first? Finlow, you're right there. Jeremy, you're right there. Go ahead.
I'm until one of us is dead.
Okay, go ahead and make a. You're essentially casting like a low level spell. So give me a. I'm willing to concede to either a bloodthirsty or a holy roll. Bloodthirsty is mechanically probably more accurate, but with the flavor you've consistently used, I think holy is fine.
I'll bloodthirsty.
Okay.
I'll play by rules as written. That's going to be a 17.
17. So you hit it, and we see this inky shadow start to cover this creature. Who's acts next?
So question, I have 4 hits into it so far. Is it still up?
This is a different one.
Cool.
The other one went down as unconscious on the ground. So this is a hit into this one, 3 hits into the previous one.
Oh,
That's
no.
fine.
If the other one's down, I would totally love to kind of revive as it.
Yeah, it's just unconscious right now. So what do you want to do to it?
I just want to revive as it.
Do you have an ability for that?
No.
So you're going to walk over and just start uttering things over the body.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back. We'll let everybody else fight. We'll take that HP back. Give that HP back to this horrible creature. Finlow, what are you up to?
These are not monsters, right? Or these are monsters. Sorry.
These are monsters, yes.
These are monsters. In that case, I think the only thing I can do is continue to rage.
Go ahead. Give me those 2 attacks.
I mean, there's lots of things I continue to do. There's only one thing I'm psychologically capable.
Get it, yeah. Go ahead and give me those 2 attack rolls for raging, and if it's still on its feet at the end, we'll see if it attacks back.
16 and 8.
So you do a damage to it.
Again, 2 to defend myself.
And you take a hit of damage.
Which is the last hit.
Yeah, so you collapse to the ground.
I want to hear a badger's dying scream.
It's remarkably silent. It's just like it's the
That's so sad.
Slash
low,
and then peck, and then the resolved silence of a dying badger. Stoic.
I would
to the
just
end.
like to everybody who's run DCC for me, DCC funnels for me, to know that they've never successfully killed a single character of mine in a DCC funnel, and Tony has done it, and down we go.
So if you think DCC is tough,
how many are left now?
just the one that it seems. Oh, there's the one unconscious that Jeremy's character Vicar is muttering over. There's the one that just speared Finlow with its beak and like sloughed off and is getting ready to consume his dead body.
I'll cast light on its eyes to try to blind it.
You're level how much? You're level 3 and yeah, that's fine. You're strong enough that I think even in daylight that it right in front of it's kind of taken aback. It rears back and doesn't get the body this turn. Borba, do you want to try to?
Well, if it's blind, it should be very easy to sneak up behind.
I would say not even behind. You can sneak up on it and absolutely sneak attack it. So if you're going to rush over stealthily and just cudgel of sleep this thing to death, you absolutely can.
Yeah, I feel like if I could just do a backstab, but maybe even from the front.
Sure. You hit this thing across the front. Its head snaps back around, and it is down.
I triumphantly yell, "It's sleeping!"
Richard, I will give you 2 options for easy narrative process because I don't think there's any way at this point to bring you back. Simply, go ahead.
No.
Hello, Robot Butler.
Right.
No.
So
Do you have any way?
You play Robot Butler, or we find a body in one of these drawers. I'll let you choose which one you would like to do.
I feel like Robot Butler is the best choice.
Okay, I hand Robot Butler over to you now as your PC, so you can figure out what Robot Butler's stats are, based on the way he's been described so far.
I was going to ask the Robot Butler if there was a revive in the archive somehow. Is there like any good way to help friends in the archive? In my mind, this is just a backpack full of everything you could ever want.
Gorgor Big says, "Is that why it's called Down We Go?" I'm going to assume you mean because we kill everybody all the time. I would say this: I am not somebody who is like a bloodthirsty GM. I spread out hit points based on logic and reasonably trying to keep the party alive. Unless they're running at death. But I can't get over the fact that Richard's dice think that they're all D6s. Like I can't do anything about that. So,
also, I should alleviate some of, if I had not lit the lake on fire, we would have killed all of them before. There would have been one more hit point in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we could have done in retrospect, but now there's a Robot Butler.
If we're all going to sit around expressing regrets, I don't feel like the lake on fire is one that we should worry about.
Yeah. So y'all are y'all get this last one down. Jim, make an unholy roll, I guess.
I've now officially changed the stat.
Actually, Liam, who did our public playtest with us, is the first one who hacked an expanded set of classes for. I'm so confused by that noise. Hold on.
Stand by. Thank you,
One
everyone.
of my children wants my iPad, so they decided to play the tone on it rather than. I think they actually did come down and ask me a little while ago, do I know where the iPad is? And I said no, and it was right behind me. So, yeah, it's right here. So y'all are able to enact the plan that you wanted to enact. though when you put the evaporators in, like Robot Butler, you immediately have kind of some of the knowledge flood into you that these are going to take weeks to evaporate enough moisture out of the air in order to create a significant amount of water. Now, you're able to do it that day, so you do know that you only have 1 day of water left to get back across the sands. You're on mute, Richard, I think.
I was going to say, you do have one less person who needs water.
Oh, I definitely stole your water.
That's true.
It's sad.
That's true.
I pocketed your water for sure.
I also, Borba, I need you to roll a D8 for me.
Oh.
I also rolled a 20 on my unholy check.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 again.
So you at one point go back to the cart, and all your stuff is just like spread out, and your backpack is missing, and you don't know why. Like you don't know what happened to it. Like everything's in like the exact same position it was in your backpack, stacked up just in the back of the
I think in my mind that thief has followed us all the way from Infinopolis and it's just like playing.
I toyed with that idea at the very beginning. So you're able to but your backpack is now missing. Jeremy, tell me what it looks like as you it's not really resurrection because it was only on the verge of death. But as you take this creature and freeze it in the throes of near death under your horrible control, what do we see that indicates that about this creature?
So basically what happens is the cloak kind of like slumps to the ground, just becomes a heap. And the vulture sort of gets up with eyes black and kind of like nestles itself underneath the cloak. And I'll fly over to Barba, and the beak will just open, and like a speaker, a voice comes out like gargled water. I did this for you. And I'll just stay near Barba the whole time.
Can I ride you?
I mean, you are size-wise. That is possible. I don't think it is easy, and so it is probably like it's probably more like a glide would be very doable, but a fly would not necessarily be a thing. And so,
well, I can just have like a small joy glide around.
Get up onto the roof as high as you can and like glide to some of the like sandstone trees that are around the perimeter and check them out. So y'all are able to, if you work through the night, you might be able to get this sand buggy back up and running, unless the plan is just to try to repair it. But you don't have, you are out a significant amount of water. Water is the main concern here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like now that we have maybe, dear Robot Butler, would you like to join our team? Help us fix this.
You're muted.
I feel like maybe we can follow your lead on fixing the buggy and then try.
Yeah, Robot Butler is definitely going to first, as a third level holy, for the religion of actually.
Oh no!
That the archivist taught him. Like they were like, well, actually, anytime the robot wanted anything, they were like, well, actually, you're just a robot, and so like he personified that into being a religion.
Yeah. So
I got robot.
Well, so I'm gonna use two divinations in a row, and I want to invoke well actually to where is the best nearby source of water?
Oh, interesting. So the honey that people have been drinking would allow, like if y'all spent a good portion of a day harvesting it out, would allow you to drink for another day. But the problem is then you've spent most of your day harvesting water. So that is the closest source of sustainable liquid. However, it actually thinks that if you went back towards your pickup location, there is a good chance that you would run across water later rather than sooner, but you can probably make it to another source of water.
If we get the buggy working.
You get the buggy working, you might be able to make it to one.
Second use of divination today is how do we fix the buggy?
Yeah, I think you immediately know the right book for that. And I think that divination is just here's the schematics and I can lay it out so everybody can work on it. And it's not just me because here's Dune Buggy schematics. So it's knowing the right book to look so that you can actually everybody.
So Robot Butler, he doesn't need glasses, but he's had them on for thousands of years now. And he pushes them up on his the nose he also doesn't need.
It's just built out of clay.
It's just ahem. Well, I think if we head back this direction towards there should be in the produces the schematics for the buggy, as well. Also the owner's manual.
So y'all take y'all kind of work into the early the early morning, getting it all set up and ready to go. Have a little bit of time to sleep. You're in cover because you're in the silo, so it's not a huge deal. And you're going to take the buggy back just kind of towards where you started, correct? All right.
Yes.
So you're running out of water. You're going faster, so you're able to make it further than you were on the camels. I'm assuming you kiss the camels goodbye or set them free in their natural habitat. Because they can't go on the buggy, but they can survive here. So you're not dooming them. And as you go back, this is hex 7. I just knew that there was an actual numbered hex coming up, so that's why I said you could find water there. Let's find out what it actually is because I don't know.
I want to
go ahead.
Oh, I was just as we're traveling, I would like to feed Vicar beetles from the jar. Just as a little travel montage.
Cool. Vicar, you eat one of those bugs if you do, and it's the best thing you've ever tasted in your life. As a matter of fact, you're I don't ever want to taste anything besides bugs ever again because of that. And now you will only gain sustenance by eating insects. So you see ahead of you a shattered caldera, and it looks like there's the ruins of an old castle on top. Vicar, you've heard of this place whispered in the darkness before as Harane. It was a once glorious city with a guild of assassins has settled there, holding an immortal seer prisoner. The seer preaches of something. What does the seer preach of? What is this seer at Harane preach of? Hey, Nate, watching over on YouTube. How's it going? We're playing some Down We Go using the Undying Sands.
They preach of the coming desolation.
How so? How does the desolation happen?
Prophecy writes that one vulture, one thief, one robot butler, cactus enter into the castle, and the desolation comes.
So you also see thick black smoke kind of coming out of different parts of the caldera, making things thick and foggy. And then you see large sailing stones scattered around. These stones that move through the ground as if they were ships. So this is what you're looking at.
Wow.
But you also know, Robot Butler, that in the great lore of, that there's also a good source of water inside the caldera.
There's an excellent source of water in here.
Do we have time to stop here, or maybe we have to?
If you don't, you won't be able to continue. But here's what we're gonna do. Y'all are pulling up alongside of it. As you do this, the smoke rifts out and kind of surrounds your vehicle, and you hear a voice that says, "Welcome. I've been waiting for you." And then we're just going to fade to black. And we'll have to next time this sometime, because I did promise Jeremy Gage that we would be done before dinner time. I also need to be done before dinner time because my kids went to their first day of school today. I want to go talk to them about how it went and get dinner all set for them. However, I would love to chat really briefly about what everybody's experience was playing both Down We Go as well as the Undying Sands. If you have not yet, Markus, point right down below you, right there. That link, ttrpg.link/hexks, will take you to the upcoming Undying Sands Kickstarter. It's already released, so it's out of print now. I don't know, Sunrat, I know you just asked when it's launching. I don't know the exact date. I can find out from Games Omnivorous, or if you go over to, if you tag them on Twitter or on Facebook, I'm sure that Andre will get back to you. I don't have the specific date. I do know it's soon. So Undying Sands is sold out. We get a preview copy of it so that we could play it. This is the first time we've got a chance to get it to the table. I'm super looking forward to the Kickstarter. We'll have some copies of that we'll be giving away on the channel in the future. But then, Markus, point down and to your right. If you go to ttrpg.link/DWGLive, you'll be able to go over and check out the Down We Go crowdfunding project over on Gamefound, which is a new crowdfunding project just for tabletop content. We are currently sitting at $4,241, or about $250 away from funding, hitting our flash funding goal. I didn't do anywhere near the amount of social media promotion I could have done today because I was taking care of all the house stuff that's happening. I've got a leak over here in my basement, which is also my office, on one of only 4 pipes that drains out of the house that all converge right around that area. And I also was getting everything up and going on there. So I'm sure we'll fund it in the next little bit. We've got a flash funding goal releasing Away We Go and Back We Go. We've also got a funding goal. We'll release the third-party license for Down We Go. All that'll go up on itch, which hopefully will draw more people to the campaign also too. But you'll be able to make stuff using the simple Down We Go system. Down We Go is a minimalist game that Markus created. Markus, tell people a little bit more again about what Down We Go was and why you decided to make Down We Go in the first place.
Because I wanted an easy to learn system, something to just pick up and start playing within, 10-15 minutes, hopefully. It's really easy. It's really flexible. There are 4 basic roles, but you can do a lot. You can multi-class right from the start and come up with your own character, personalize it. And it's a minimalist game, but it has a distinct OSR flavor, according to me.
Yeah. I think according to a lot of people, like everybody I've talked to about has enjoyed it. Richard said some really nice things for us as a designer. Also played history. Richard, what's one of your favorite things about Down We Go as a system?
It's the quick way to get classes or characters up in ways that feel like you're still making decisions and having some fun putting together character together, but you're not lost in build land.
Yeah. I also loved what you did there at the end by totally being like, my character just died. That's cool. I'm going to MacGuffin a precise solution to our process by picking abilities when I come back to be that thing, which is a really cool, I don't think anybody's done that before. That's a really cool meta narrative process to be like, oh, my character died. Cool. Now I'm this other thing and we needed this other thing. So now we can go get it. And that's actually a really interesting process. Sunrat, if people keep on reminding me, I'll bookmark the PDF. I will absolutely make sure our digital tools are as good as we can get them. Because even if I put it out and you're like, Tony, you said on stream that you would bookmark this and I forgot, remind me and we'll update it with a bookmark version. But I'm absolutely going to try to remember and do some cross-indexing, because a lot of the creators have done some really interesting things to make certain things link, and I would love to be able to be like, click over to here. So when the Dirt Lickers get mentioned anytime, be able to be like, hey, go to the Dirt Lickers and know who those are. If there's a monster in an adventure, be able to click, even though they're usually on the adventure page. If there's like one that's going to get pulled in, be able to click over to the bestiary real quick. I would love to be able to do that. I'm super excited by all the different collaborators we have, contributors. I know that Max is actually working on not something for the campaign, but a generator and some other stuff. Richard has gotten to play with this a ton. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about what you're creating for Down We Go that is part of the initial release. If you go back it right now and you get it at the $85 level, or you can get this as a separate just add-on to the project. Tell us what you're creating.
Yeah, so I was given a sort of prompt piece of artwork, and I'll be creating the bog pit, which is going to be very inspired by sort of like those wooden wicker altars and witches and mud and blood, and sort of like a woodsy, evil, druidic kind of space.
And that piece of art is by an artist known oftentimes as Skull Fungus, but Markus pronounces their name in full as
Carl Stjernberg.
There you go. And so, phenomenal Swedish designer who's just done a lot of great stuff in Night East and other stuff like that. We're super thrilled that they could do a piece of art for us, and very excited to have Jeremy build something off of that. But it was great to play with all of you. I would love to hear everybody's thoughts real quick, though, about the Undying Sands and what that was like for you. So, Max, what were your thoughts on Undying Sands?
I feel like I say this all the time. It's great. I really enjoyed it. I have seen it before and was very excited to get a chance to play it. And I'm relatively new to the hex crawl life, and I feel like this is actually easier for me to envision running than actually like just looking at a normal hex crawl and being like, yeah, people are going to move around it and I'm going to have to prep all their stuff. Like there's something about, also I'm obsessed with generators, but there's something about it being like generative in that way that makes it feel like it's really easy to read. And I love chaos. Also, look at that hex. It's so cute.
Like there's just so many small little details in there. And also the prompts just give you enough. Will I show a tutorial on using Delver's Balm on my beard? Absolutely. A couple of other things that came with it we didn't get into. There is this giant, massive city that you can end up at, which I can't even fit really fully into the. That's fine. You're seeing all the secrets now. Like this huge cityscape, and then on the other side of that, there's this like delve, which I could have just taken us on this, and we could have had an absolutely phenomenal time, right? But it's just absolutely gorgeous. A lot of stuff. The GM screen is it's got so many folds, so it's a full-on GM screen on this side, just big, long, beautiful art, and then all the different stuff in here. Everything's keyed to a dice, so you can do a D10, a D8, a D20, a D4. Sometimes, and I was like, I don't know what you're going to find in this drawer because I just kind of made all that stuff up. It was like, hey, roll this, and it was either going to be a loot the body roll, a treasure roll, a curse roll, which is what the Beatles were, or other things that I was just going to give it form. I also loved the bad moon that you rolled. So Max, you just rolled a curse that made you lose one thing every day.
Great.
And pairing that up with Down We Go was so easy because this has barely any mechanics in it. This is exactly the kind of stuff that like was Down We Go was made to run. Like being able to pick up Undying Sands, be like, we want to play this. We don't want to make D&D characters. We don't even want to make OSE characters, which are incredibly easy to make. We just want to basically be playing in a couple of minutes. I, as a GM, didn't do any prep. You can keep these in the bag, but I just stacked them and pulled them off one by one. I shuffled them up a little bit first. I didn't know when things were coming, but it's very cool. Sunrat wants to know, will I show a tutorial on using Delver's Balm on my beard? I already said yes to that. Will the Down We Go cassette soundtrack also include MP3/waves? I need to double check on that. Loot the Body really wanted us to do that. They did all the music for free. I need to find out from them how we're going to include the digital aspects. You can listen to it for free online. I don't know about the downloadable side, but I do know it is free to listen to on SoundCloud right now and will be on their website, but I'll see what we can work out about making sure those are included. I meant to ask that question yesterday, and rather than tell you yes and then have it not be the case, I'll tell you I need to 100% make sure before I commit to that on air. And so let me find out about that. But Markus, as the person who created Down We Go, What was it like to you to see the system go through the Undying Sands?
It was awesome. It seemed like a perfect fit. I mean, they're both pretty pick up and easy to run, like you said, no prep. And I mean, in addition to what the other of you have already said about Undying Sands, I cannot get over the fact how beautiful it is. It reminds me of like I have no idea if you had this in the States, but there's a French artist who used to make posters of the artist had a poster about the Olympics, and there were all these small details like a pole vaulter over here jumping over this, and just a ton of small details. And this reminds me of that. And I used to love just looking at those posters when I was a kid, and I get the same feeling looking at this. And also I actually own a copy, and I love the tactile feel of just pulling a hex out of a bag and putting it down on the floor. It's awesome. I love this idea.
Yeah, I'm super thrilled to see them doing not just reprinting this one and printing many more of them, but also doing a second C version of this, because Sea and Sand have some very consistent feels. Richard, how about you? What was it like to play Undying Sands?
I am going to repeat it pretty much what everybody else said. I love the ability to randomly generate. It felt brutal, like a trip through the desert, like all those blank hexes, and you're never really sure exactly where you're going or how you're going to get there. It just all plays out so nicely. It just seems so like straightforward and easy to run.
Yeah, it was like the dangers of the land are like quicksand, drowns if not assisted. Sandstorm, 1d6 pieces of equipment are damaged or lost. Scorching winds, which is what y'all hit, takes damage equivalent to firebolt. Heat wave must consume 4 days worth of water. I made that only one extra day because I didn't want to kill y'all straight off the bat. Blood Moon Eclipse, which is what happened, must roll a random curse. Sand waves, cracked earth, mirage, shifting sands, delirium. It's all, there's just so much good brutality. But one of the specific notes is the empty ones are supposed to feel hopeless. And there are two ways you can play it. You can build out the map, or you can take the empty ones, and every time somebody's moved off of them, just shuffle them back into the bag. So that you're always keeping the same number of empties, and space is getting scarcer and scarcer. So depending on what feel you're going for, you can get a lot of that. But I loved that feel also too. Jeremy, any thoughts on Undying Sands?
Honestly, like the tiles are wicked cool, but I really like a useful like GM screen. Like the only one I've had exposure to is the D&D 5e one. And I don't find that relatively useful, really, in the slightest, honestly. It doesn't have like too many reminders. It has like reminders of conditions, but doesn't have too many like combat reminders or initiative things that could be used on like the front. It's all just very decorative. I love what I saw you flipping through on the GM screen during the stream.
Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous, and it is super helpful. Like Jeremy and I were talking about this the other day, and you alluded to it at the beginning. Like Nate, I don't know if you're still watching. Is it like the Chapel of the Sludge?
Yeah, something like that.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It got my brain tickling on more adventures as GM screens, and it's a format I absolutely love for like Down We Go. The ability to like pop up even just a printed piece of like thick quality paper that's window folded, and basically be like, here's my GM screen, put some art on the front, either the dungeon shape or something else, and put the adventure on the inside with just mostly random tables that let the GM navigate something. It's got a super great feel to it. Jeremy and I have talked about like sentient dungeons for Down We Go that kind of evolve and grow, as well as how that might impact how we do the bog specifically. So this model was 100% something that just keyed a lot of things in my brain, along with Nate's adventure that he had done that had that kind of GM screen format to it. The Chapel of the Sludge Mother, yeah, it's such a good adventure that does so much with that format. And Nate's is like tiny, but it's a full adventure right on the inside. So let's talk about the campaign real quick before we all pop off. Let me get it so it's not looking at the behind the scenes view, though. If anybody on the call wants to stick around afterwards, I'll show it to you. I did do a launch stream today where I went through like the back end right before we went live. If anybody wants to watch that, we're going to view the project page and then hop back over here. So right now we are sitting at $4,411. So if someone went and backed at a high level right now, if a couple of people went back to normal level, you would push us over to funding while we're still on stream. No one has to. I'm just saying you could do it if you wanted to. That's totally up to you, though. But it's been an absolute blast. I saw Markus put this half-page character sheet up in the Minimalist RPG group 9 months ago. I looked back. It was in December. You popped it up. We talked about it during December. We played it at the very beginning of the year while you were still kind of rolling all this stuff through your mind. I was like, I would love to see a little bit of city stuff, a little bit of GM stuff that just kind of helps build stuff out. You did these dungeons that are these phenomenal one-page dungeons that I think it's such a clever model. Like everything, and I use this term a lot, and I want to Markus right here, make him embarrassed by saying it to his face. Like it is the elegance of design. Like elegance is something people oftentimes think of as grandiose, but elegance is oftentimes very simple, but very intentional in a way that allows complex things to happen in an easy way. Like that's like elegance is about a number of things flowing very simply in one direction or in the way they're intended to that allows a much greater whole. And I think the dungeons, especially that you created for Down We Go, are one of the most elegant designs I've ever seen, by basically saying you could take a party down to that dungeon 4 times in a row, and every single time, even though it's the same floor plan, they would think it's an entirely different dungeon because you're going to roll up different things, you're going to ask different rumors, there's going to be different encounters, and that creates such a beautiful thing. So Markus, like you did a great job, but your willingness to be a part, like to let me work on developing it, to build a team around it, to pull everybody in who's been working on the project has been an absolute honor. So like when we talk about being Swedish designed, like a minimalist, an elegant minimalist Swedish design, like I'm evoking like a watch, but I'm also just like, it's 100% serious. And I absolutely love the system, but it's been great to have people from Malaysia and the Philippines and Italy and and Belgium and the U.S. and Canada and now Brazil and other parts of Latin America who are all getting to contribute to the system. So, like Markus, thank you so much for popping that page up 9 months ago and being willing to go on this journey to make this really cool thing happen.
Thank you. I mean, I'm like I said on another stream, I think, or maybe I said it just to you, Tony. This is the definition of a boyhood dream for me to make something and put it out. I'm sorry if this sounds corny, but I'm really, really grateful for all the support from you and from everyone playtesting, doing on the streams, and also all the people writing stuff for it. It feels amazing. So, I feel blessed. Yeah.
I am so glad that we were able to do this. And I like for Plus One, like we talk about our heart being helping players and designers connect with each other. This is like, as much as I would love to be just like a killer designer, like I'm a good designer who designs good games and does creative things. I'm a better developer and marketer at that stuff. And so for me, like stepping in and being able to work on this project has also been a huge, I talk about it being an honor all the time, huge honor, huge blessing, because those are the things that I am good at. And so being freed up to just do those things. And like, I hope it's the same for you and for other members of the team, doing the things you're good at and then being like, I don't got to worry about any of that over there is a huge part of that. So if you haven't gone to check it out, please do. The beta's up on the site. Some great mock-ups of what the book's going to look like. The art is finalized. The layout is not. The team's absolutely amazing. We really love being on Gamefound as only the second RPG to go up, and really the first small RPG to go up. The other one had huge email list, great following, a lot more translatable to a board game mindset. Not because the game is a board gamey thing, but because everybody loves buying dice, and they had a lot of dice on their campaign. And Baskrim is a phenomenal project. We've got retail rewards, and also as we fund more, we want to pay people more. Now, it's not like, hey, we're doubling pay or tripling pay or anything like that. Though, I mean, theoretically, if we get $1 million, like we'll double or triple pay. Don't worry about it. But we are increasing pay as we go through for everybody. And then the third-party license, when that opens up, even during campaign, we'll have it out. We'll have it available. People can just start making content for the game, releasing it and selling it if they want to. The reason we did a license is really to provide a little bit more control over what type of content can't be made. So bigoted, misogynist, like homophobic, violent, aggressively violent, dehumanizing content is not something we're interested in being associated with. Down we go. So we wanted to create the license to be able to basically say, you can't do that with this system. Go make your own. And so the Together We Go license is really meant to be unitive and draw people together. Because we are on track to fund this Friday, we're going to be playing Through the Void, which used to be called Away We Go. It's our space hack that's going to be going up whenever we fund, hopefully this evening. And we've got some great add-ons and other stuff like that. I can't wait to start unlocking stretch goals. We're only $544 away from Diogo's stretch goal. So I'm just super, super thrilled by everyone who's come together for that. Please help spread the word. Gamefound, the #1 challenge to being on it, is it doesn't have the footprint that Kickstarter does. And so we would appreciate anything you can do, even mid-campaign, even if you've already shared it, to consider sharing it again. We'll have a lot of actual plays and other stuff coming up where you'll be able to engage in a lot of that stuff. So please come back and join us anytime. Most of them will be right about 2 to 3 hours. This one was a little bit longer because we're just hanging out. And I'm just trying to keep Jeremy from, being able to make dinner. And so, with that said, any parting thoughts from anybody else? All right, with all that said, I've never had a good way to end these streams. Oh, Marcus, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have never had, I'm going to refresh it one more time. I'm going to give us one more chance.
I'm refreshing it all the time
closer,
here.
but not quite there. We are $40-something away. Anyways, until next time, I've never had a good way to end the stream, so we're just going to wave at the camera until I take us off air. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.